He made on the Orioles and on the Jays. 6+ innings of work, career high 5 Ks. Unfortunately, the Orioles were silenced by an equally impressive outing, Marco Estrada. He would help the Jays end their 7-game skid. The Orioles still have a chance to take 3 out of 4. Dylan Bundy, the 24-year-old, is on the mound today as they wrap it up here in Toronto. It's the Orioles on Masson, and a very happy Easter to one and all here in Toronto on a beautiful day. Orioles and Blue Jays will wrap up this 4-game set. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. For the Orioles, a chance to take 3 out of 4, continue a very impressive start. Even with the walk-off home run loss in the ballgame yesterday, the Orioles still have the best winning percentage going in baseball. Now, an impact on the team for the next 10 days occurred today, as the Orioles announced that going on the DL is their closer, Zack Britton, who has converted 54 of the last 54. It was this pitch that Buck Showalter talked about that happened on Friday that they thought really showed what had been a concern for a while longer. Look at the arm, kind of puts it behind his back, an awkward positioning of it there. The forearm is hurting. And this is the one where the Orioles said, you know something, that's enough. He's got to go on the DL. So today, the Orioles lose their closer. They will not have him available for 10 days, and they could not backdate it because Stefan Crichton had just been sent down yesterday, and when you do that, you can't backdate a guy who goes on the DL and you bring the other guy right back. So he never left, really. He's still here in Toronto. He's ready to go today. But obviously, that's a blow for the Orioles.
Oh, it sure is. You know, when it actually started in spring training, Zach had a little oblique strain. Took some time off. Didn't really look as sharp in spring training. You thought maybe the adrenaline would pick up here to open the season. Listen, Zack Britton's a great closer. He has been for a couple years now. He's got 5 saves this season, but uncharacteristically giving up a lot of hits. Hitters are hitting over 300 off him right now. He's given up 10 hits, so they haven't been easy saves by any means. So something's going on in there. Give him a couple weeks here to take a look, recover a little bit, find what's right. Britton will be back, feeling better as ever.
And Dylan Bundy will be on the mound here today, the youngster who has looked just so good early on in 2 starts.
Oh, yes, he has. You know, and he's going up against a very tough team, but he pitched so well, carving him up basically in his first start of the year. Had great fastball command, and he played that slider off the fastball as well as I've ever seen him pitch. There's one concern, though. The workload he had against Boston. Threw 106 pitches against the Red Sox the other day. See how he responds.
All right, we have only one rule today. You cannot eat more than 1 chocolate egg per inning, or you'll go on the DL. Buddy Rich, live. Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. A lot of Oriole fans have been on hand for the long weekend here in the 4-game set. BGE Home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Roof is closed, 59 degrees outside. Really beautiful Easter Sunday morning here in Toronto. Take a look at the Orioles lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares, nothing to hide. That's transparency. Gentry, Jones, Machado, Trumbo, Davis, and Castillo, Mancini, Scope, and Hardy. Jonathan has had a big series, continuing his offensive output against Toronto.
And let's take a look at Jay Happ's scouting report this year. 20-16. Yeah, 20 wins last year for the Blue Jays. Went 2-0 against the O's last season. Of course, no decision in his first start against the O's this year. Actually, they took the loss. Hit or miss, though. Problem is, he's striking out guys. 17 punch-outs in 2 starts. But he's given up long balls, 4 home runs in his first 2 starts. And let's take a look today at his change. He's changed his grip. Used to throw the circle change. Now it's a 2-seam look. How about the numbers for Happ this season? 0-2. Earned run average up over 5. They're the 4 home runs, and the batting average up a little bit as well.
And the pitch taken for a strike, and we are underway. Gentry getting the leadoff spot for the Orioles today. See the number with the 0 for 12. He is 3 for 10 lifetime off Happ as the Orioles get the lineup to go against the left-handers in this ball game. The right-handers have really stunned Happ in the first 2 games. They're hitting .273 against him, right-handers. That's more than 40 points up from last year. This right-hander is going to be retired. Gentry out of there.
Now let's take a look at the defense behind Happ this afternoon. Pierce, Pilar, and Carrera roam the Rogers Center outfield. Tulowitzki and Goins turn 2 up the middle. Coughlin over at third. Morales, the hero of last night's ball game, will play first, and Martin back behind the dish today.
Walk-off home run ended the streak of losses for Toronto as they lost 7 in a row, 6 in a row against the Orioles. Orioles come in 7-3. They are a half game up on the Yankees in the East. Toronto's 2-9. They are 5.5 back in the American League East. Here is Adam Jones. Adam against the lefty that shows bunt as he had both first and third back on him. We'll see if he meant that or not. He's a .257 lifetime hitter with 2 home runs against Happ. Adam moves him in a little bit at the corners.
Yeah, you know, and that's the point about that bunt for Adam Jones. He is good at it. He works at it every day. And for him to have the ability to lay a bunt down, will suck that defense in on the corners. Gives him a chance to slap it by him.
Happ with a pretty straight up D all the way around against him here. Delivery to Adam. Little check swing. Well, it's not a bunt, but it's the same thing. Happ. Ooh, threw it off the mark. It'll be an error. Happ 2 chances in the ball game, and the second one he doesn't get it done, and Adam is on.
Oh. Well, Adam Jones always hustling down the line, but the key here is an unfortunate check swing. Not much of a lane for the lefty. You got big Adam Jones hustling down there, and he tries to finesse it inside the baseline to Morales at first. Not the touch he was looking for. Pulls Morales off the bag. Adam Jones, you see him flying through the picture, and that might have caused some anxiety for Happ as well.
It's one of those plays that it's very hard to practice that anywhere. In spring training, you get pitchers to take fielding practice. Rarely, though, do they have guys running down the line. And even when they do, the guys stay out of the way.
Sure.
It's not the same.
It is not.
It's one of those very tough plays. And plays in baseball that aren't made very often, and there aren't many. I think of that one by the pitcher and a ball down the line, and the first baseman trying to throw to third to get an out.
Yeah.
Plays that aren't made very often in the game and aren't practiced are dangerous.
Yeah, they sure are.
They will result in a lot of errors. Here's Manny Machado. Manny took some extra BP both out and in today. He was hitting off the tee before the game, trying to get going. A little cold at the plate right now. You see just 1 for 10 in this series and hitting only .171 on the year. Home run, 5 RBIs. Adam Jones will be held at first. Happ has surrendered stolen bases last year. Runners were 7 out of 8 against him on the base paths. Trying to go for the outside corner. Will miss on that one. 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, he has the 2-seam fastball, obviously the 4-seam fastball. He likes to ride to the top of the zone. The little two-seamer he's starting to fall in love with. He threw it more against the Orioles in his last start. That last pitch had good two-seam action.
Came back towards the inside on that one and fouls it off. Here's what he throws and how they do.
Take a look at the opponent average by pitch. Fastball 333. He throws more fastballs, obviously. Curveball, 0-1. Slider 0 for 1. The changeup is his best pitch. He loves it this year. He's got a new grip. We're going to look for it today. Used to throw that circle change, and now he throws it off the two-seam grip. So it comes out of the hand looking like the two-seam fastball.
Manny on a big cut. Pretty well located pitch. He turned to ask the umpire if it was a strike. It's a K.
Well, let's take a look at the Mercedes pitch cast here. This is the four-seam fastball, top of the zone, riding hard up and in at 93 to get Manny Machado. Hard up and in, soft down and away. That's some textbook stuff there.
So Happ with a runner at first has two down, and that'll bring Mike Trumbo up. Also in a bit of a scuffle, as he's had an 0 for 11 in this series. And he drills that one down the line into left field. He got one to hit, making the turn. Adam Jones. Ball will be played in by Steve Pearce. Throw will come into the cutoff man, and a double for Trumbo. Gets him out of the 0 for 14 he had against Happ coming into that at bat.
Well, Trumbo saying, I'm not going to take and break out of this slump. I got to get to swinging. A little cutter, slider down and in that he drops the head on. Fortunately for Happ, that one didn't get elevated. Trumbo whistling it off the wall. Easy double, second of the season.
So the first scoring chance is going to go to the Orioles. Adam Jones goes over to third. Talking to Bobby Dickerson, and here's Chris Davis. Chris, the designated hitter for the ball game today. See, he has had the 2 for 11 in the series. He's hit the ball pretty hard. He's 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position this year. The Orioles in this series not had many chances nor many hits in these settings. They've gone 3 for 18 in the first 3 games. Orioles are now second in the league as a team, hitting .313 with runners in scoring position. Adam Jones would like to steal home. He'd like to re-celebrate Jackie Robinson Day by coming home. Here's the 0-1 delivery. He's got the chance, not going to do it. But Coughlin is at shortstop, and he's the third baseman.
I'll tell you, you got a lefty on the mound. Coughlin's pulled way off over at shortstop hole. Chris Davis is up so we can see Jones in front of him. So the opportunity is there. The only problem is the catcher can see him pretty well.
Yeah. Tough to steal home on a left-handed batter up. 0-2 delivery on the way, and that will be foul back. I would love to be able to read Adam Jones's mind right now, though.
He's itching.
He is looking in there and he's going, oh man, yeah. I can steal home.
Yeah, absolutely. He's way down there. I mean, that's a good 20-foot lead off third base. That's a primary lead as well. Typically, you get to 20 feet on your secondary lead, and he's just walking down. And I'll tell you what, if Happ sees him out of the corner of the eye, he's going to get a little concerned about it.
Davis will take the pitch up high.
I think Adam ought to walk down there as far as he can until he's contested, until he forces Coughlin to come over or Happ to step off.
Because Coughlin is so far away, there's no way he can sneak in. And he's going to have to trek from Mount Rushmore to get over there. Adam keeps stepping it off. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Big early at bat here in this ball game. Left-hander, 1-2 delivery on the way. Davis will put it up in the air, but it's playable. Steve Pearce will drift in. And he's got it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 are left in scoring position. Dylan Bundy will be on the mound when we come back. scoreboards in the first. Here's the lineup for Toronto. Again, juggled a bit. Pilar, Carrera, Bautista, Morales, Tulowitzki, Martin, Pierce, Coughlin, and Gomes. Again, they're without Travis at second base. And Morales, walk-off home run yesterday.
Now let's take a look at Dylan Bundy's scouting report. Quality stuff indeed. Back-to-back quality starts to begin the 2017 campaign for Dylan Bundy. And it all stems from his fastball command. He can play all of his secondary pitches off the fastball. He's working all 4 quadrants right now. But hard work in his last outing. 106 pitches thrown against the Red Sox. See how he responds today. Couple starts, 2.70 earned run average for Bundy. 11 Ks, just 2 walks for Bundy on the season. Opponent's hitting .239 overall.
Hottest hitter in the lineup right now for the Jays is at the plate. This is Kevin Pilar. First ball hitting, he's going to stay hot. He got one up. He didn't let it go by. In the corner, Gentry. Here's the throw. It's off the mark. It'll be backed up. And a leadoff double, first pitch.
Well, Pilar feeling good and not wasting any time. But take a look at Castilla setting up down and away. And the heater leaks back on the inner third. Pilar spanks it down the left field line. Gentry with the good speed able to get to it, but way too deep to get Pilar at second base.
So chances come early for both teams. Pilar on with the 2-baggers, got a 5-game hit streak. That's his 5th hit in this series, 5 for 12. Is Ezequiel Carrera, his job, get the runner over. Machado moves in on the grass carpet at third base. Carrera's had the 1 for 7. See if he tries to bunt here. If he does, he'll probably drag it. He's got Mancini way back at first. Nope, popped it up, gets a bounce. And got him! They may want to look at that. Ooh. That was a very close play at first base with Carrera flying down the line.
Boy, it sure was. Carrera showed the bunt yesterday. I think manager John Gibbons, he knows these are low-scoring affairs where these two teams match up. A powerhouse offenses.
Tim Leeper, the first base coach, immediately put his fingers to his eyes looking at the dugout saying, take a look at that. Oh, he's safe.
Well, unless somebody's looking at the review and can't quite get a definitive look at it.
So we'll have our first challenge. But it means there'll be a runner at first and third if it's overturned with nobody out, or there'll be a runner at third with 1 away.
Well, I will say this about that play. Trey Mancini's got to cut some distance down on that ball. You know, he's standing there giving a good target, but boy, he's got to be aggressive and stretch to the baseball when he knows it's going to be a bang bang play.
He's safe. They've overturned it. We should mention right there, Mike, Trey Mancini is playing his first major league game at first base.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you know there's a lot of nerves there. Yeah. Spring training, he was bouncing back and forth. First base, right field, first base, right field. Of course, he was a first baseman through the minor leagues.
So Pilar goes to third. Carrera's at first base. Bautista coming up. 2 for 11 with a couple of runs scored. He's been struggling at the plate. He will have to keep an eye on Carrera now. There's a threat to take off over there at first. Mancini holding the bag. Breaking ball. Will miss. 4-1. Big check down at third here. Lots of signs being given, whether they actually mean anything or not. Luis Rivera, their third base coach. Bautista with a 1-0 count. Bundy will make the throw over. Base stealers against Dylan last year, 10 out of 16.
Now, when you have speed on the corners, you got to be careful. Pay attention to these guys. They're going to try to get in Bundy's head. Carrera peeking in a little bit, trying to pick the right pitch to run on.
He hasn't tried to steal this season. Bautista will take the pitch way up high. And the count goes to 2-0. So Bundy in a jam early here in the first inning. Now, the first inning, the last 2 years, teams have hit 145 against Dylan Bundy in the first inning. Last 2 years, last year and the games this year. Jays have already gone 2 for 2. 2-0 pitch on the way. Bautista fooled by it, way out in front, 2-1.
Ooh, that is a nasty changeup. Dylan Bundy. Oh my. Goes it down the heart of the plate, but right at the knees. He just drops off the table.
Bautista's only 3 for 20 against the Orioles in the 5 games that have been played this year. 2 ball, 1 strike count, first and third. And a foul.
Back-to-back change for Dylan Bundy, but take a look at his opponent average by pitch. That fastball up there at 360. Now Dylan can locate very well when he's on. Today that fastball kind of spray painting around the zone. See the slider, real good pitch for Bundy. Has all 4. Pitching off the fastball, indeed. That was a Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Plays quiet, and another one foul back. Seemingly for Bautista right now, if he's going to hit anything, it's going to be the fastball. He's not confident at the plate, so the off-speed pitches throughout this series have had him really waving at pitches.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's off balance. A lot of the Jays hitters a little in between right now. And typically the good hitter will hit off the fastball all the time and make the adjustment to the off-speed pitch.
Bautista went 0 for 3 in the first game against Dylan Bundy. Throw over again, not as hard this time. Bundy looking to keep his record going. It's his 6th career start against Toronto, or appearance, his 2nd start. 2-0, a .77 ERA for Bundy against the Jays. .77.
Pretty impressive stuff by Dylan Bundy. Got his feet wet with the Blue Jays as a reliever. Of course, that first start he made against this team was as impressive as we've seen from Dylan Bundy.
2-2, runners off first and third. Bundy with a long hold. Bautista, there it is. That's what he's been going after. Off-speed delivery, and he strikes out.
And that's been Dylan Bundy's bread and butter. Not one fastball in this AB that Bautista fouled off, but this slider's the killer pitch. It looks like a heater coming out of his hand, and then see you later. Left turn off the screen, out of the zone. Joey Bats going down swinging.
So the hero from last night will stand in. The Orioles came back in the 9th inning, get the ball game tied up. Morales' first pitch in the bottom of the 9th delivered his 2nd home run and a walk-off homer. He is 0 for 4 against Bundy. Now the infield will set at double play depth. Chance to get out of the inning, and the pitch will be away for a ball. Pilar, who picked up the double, has moved over to third base on the base hit by Carrera, who's at first. Statcast brought to you by Amazon Web Services. So Bundy trying to work his way out of it. He did a lot of that last year. It was tough to get hits off Dylan Bundy with runners in scoring position. Ground ball towards second base, not hit hard. They'll get one relay and get the double play. That's why you stay in a little bit, so you can hurry it a little more in the infield. They needed to, and they did. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. Toronto first and third, nobody out, and they do not score. Here's a view from Toronto. The Toronto Star covering their ball club. The right-hander slider, talking about Bundy, was causing problems for Toronto hitters in that first game. They racked up 14 swinging strikes, 33 looks at that pitch. Happ leaned heavily on his two-seam fastball against the O's first time around. 43 times he threw it. 29 four-seam fastballs, consistently mixing his velocities. And Happ could present an opportunity for Manny Machado to break out, said the Star. Third baseman, 7 hits, 24 at-bats, including a double, triple, and 2 home runs against the Toronto left-hander. A view from Toronto. So both teams chances and unable to convert in the first inning. Here's Wellington Castillo. 1 for 6, lifetime off Happ. Castillo will take the pitch inside corner for a strike. Real big numbers at the plate to start it out, in the top 5 in hitting early on at the end of week 2 in the American League. Swing and a miss on one away.
Now there's a change right there. 85 miles an hour, a little bit firmer than last year's change, the circle change. And this year you saw the good action as it faded away from Castillo there.
0-2 count. Veteran Happ, 34 years old. 0-2 delivery on the way. Castillo bouncer third, and it will be foul. Well, the rankings as we complete week 2 of the season for the Jays. They are hitting 200 as a team last, 2.7 runs last, 6 home runs next to last. Their on-base percentage last. Offensively for the Orioles, 7th in average, 8th in runs. They are right now in home runs, tied for 5th. On-base percentage still not where they want it. They're 11th in on-base percentage and last in walks. 0-2 count. Castillo reaching, drives it to right field, gets some pretty good lumber on it. Herrera back though, and he's gone. Our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Deshaun Hadley from Baltimore, 500 for being selected. 500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs up to 50,000, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Just go to mdlottery.com/homerun. Deshaun, good luck. A lot of folks took a weekend trip to Toronto with the Orioles playing here for 4.
Yeah.
Seen them all over town and at the ballpark. Happ gets it in there. Mancini, only a 1 for 2. That's all he's played in this series. He's got a 3-game hit streak, though. And that one is going to be bounced.
And Mancini picking up a couple home runs on this road trip against the Red Sox.
Umpire headed out there. Not sure Brian Knight was giving Russell Martin a break or himself a break after that one bounced up. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Each of the starting catchers has worked 3 of the 4. Mancini inside out foul. Happ working in on the fists as he is prone to do. Last year the righties lefties didn't make much difference. 252 lefties, 251 for righties. He really held everybody down of that 20-4 record that he pulled off.
Yeah, and his fastball really is bread and butter pitch. He has the ability to move it all over the place. A lot of extra life. Big lefty at the top of the zone. Not afraid to pitch in on both righties and lefties.
2-2 again, fouled away. May notice the red jerseys being worn by the Blue Jays. They'll be wearing those this year on Sundays. It is a celebration of the 150th anniversary of the Confederation of Canada, when the provinces joined together officially. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. That will be grounded to short. Tulowitzki makes the play. 2 clubs who are supposed to be banging out hits and home runs in the series so far. Look at these numbers.
Yeah, right. Both offenses still start very slow. Not a lot of runs scored. There's 25 total between both teams. The pitching has been real good on both sides. The Orioles just a little bit better, but the home run's a difference maker. 7 home runs for the Orioles. 6 different players for the O's have hit long balls against the Jays this year. Of course, Chris Davis, a couple of them. So their timely hitting of the long balls help them win these games. And you know, the Orioles are 4-1 in one-run games. The Jays 1-4 in the one-run games. Really the deciding right there.
And that's what these games have been all about. 1 and 2 runs in all of them. 2-1 yesterday. The other games 3-2, 3-1, 2-1, 6-4. Nothing more than a 2-run differential in the games with the walk-off by Morales. Here is Jonathan Schoop. Schoop right off the end of the bat. Tulowitzki will make a running throw. And Happ has a 1, 2, 3 inning. Tulowitzki will be leading it off when we come back to Toronto. Time later in our ball game today, brought to you by Miller Lite. Blue Jays also made a roster change today. They've placed a right-hander, Aaron Sanchez, who pitched the first game of the series, or pitched in the series, on the 10-day DL. He's got a blister on his middle finger pitching hand, and they've called up a left-hander, Matt Dermody, who is was in Buffalo 1-0. So John Gibbons also with a roster change. The Orioles, of course, with Zack Britton going on the 10-day DL. Crichton rejoining the team after only a day off the roster. Tulowitzki, did he go? Yep, one plate umpire makes the call on that one. Tulowitzki an 0 for 3. Only times he has faced Bundy. And there is Crichton back in the bullpen. As far as a closer for this game, Buck Showalter obviously non-committal on that if he needed one. He said, what's your feeling about a closer for today? And he said, my feeling is I hope we need one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Donnie Hart was the name he ultimately dropped.
Yeah, Donnie closed in the minor leagues. Michael Givens also closed in the minor leagues.
That's Hart in the middle on your picture there. Tulowitzki, the off-speed delivery is in there by Bundy. Now, Michael Givens has not been available for the last 2 days. He's got a little problem going with the arm. Supposedly is available today. Darren O'Day was not available yesterday because of days pitched. He is available today. 1-2 delivery turned on a foul. So the Orioles really had a short bullpen, which never gets announced until after the fact, even if it gets announced then. Buck did talk about it today. And as we said, trying to keep players in line here. Givens there second from the right, and just not, that arm just not feeling right.
Yeah, right. And you got to kind of work through. You don't want to put guys on the DL. Give them a couple days if they're feeling a little something. And I think Buck's really good about that, not putting his bullpen arms in harm's way.
Well, every time you do that, you end up, another option goes by the boards when you call somebody else up.
Right.
And that pitch by Bundy will miss up high. 2 ball, 2 strike count. So Dylan Bundy's working here 2-2 to the leadoff batter Tulowitzki, retiring 71% of leadoff batters last year, and that's the exact number he had coming into this game in his first 2 starts this year. 2-2. He waited on it, fouled it away.
Good pitch right there from Dylan Bundy. Mixing up a lot of off speed to start this ball game off. Not feeling too confident in that fastball location, it seems, here to begin the game.
Tulowitzki standing out. So here's one of those time-saving rules that never gets enforced. There's nobody on base. You're not supposed to step out of the batter's box. It's not even mentioned anymore.
No.
Out again. Bundy with a 2-2 delivery. That one's going to go into the shift. A.J. Hardy. 1 down, 2nd inning. Now, last night the Orioles honored Jackie Robinson, having each player and coach wear Jackie's number 42. You can go to Orioles.com/auctions and bid on these authenticated game-worn jerseys. All proceeds benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation and the Jackie Robinson Foundation. The bidding closes Saturday at 10 p.m. That's Orioles.com/auctions. Jackie honored around baseball. The Dodgers unveiling that beautiful statue of Jackie at Dodger Stadium.
Did you watch that last night?
I saw the replay of it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yep. That was by invitation only.
Really?
Yep. 0-1 delivery on the way is going to be taken outside. Russell Martin. Martin has had an 0 for 4 in his at-bats against Bundy. He too struggling at the plate. And there's that breaking ball. Great pitch.
Throws it hard. 84 miles an hour coming out of the hand, looking like the heater. And a serious spin, biting down into the dirt.
Bundy bringing in 11 wins, 7 losses in his young career at the age of 24. Pitch way outside. Did he go? They want to check no. Lance Barrett down at first base.
Bundy power slider. Whew. Man, oh man, have there been some borderline calls on that check swing.
Umpires of late seem to be a little more free on that for the hitters.
Oh yeah.
Calling fewer of the check swing strikes. 2-2 delivery on the way, and no question about that one. Went away again and got him.
Yeah, had him fishing. Knew he was thinking about that pitch. Started off on the plate just a hair more. And look at it work itself off the edge. What a pitch from Dylan Bundy. Good call by Castilla to keep going with it. He knew.
I'll bring Steve Pearce up. Steve getting a lot of playing time. He's in left field in the ball game today. 0 for 6 in his at bats in the series. Pitch is going to be taken up high. Dylan Bundy in his start against Toronto, the opener. 7 very solid innings, a run on 4 hits. He did not walk a batter, and he struck out 8. You got 2 pitchers in this game. Bundy in 2 starts has walked 2 as you look at the shift. Happ, who's gone 0-2 in 2 starts, hasn't walked a batter. 1-1 delivery is going to skim across the plate, and a 2-ball 1-strike count on Steve Pearce. Steve, against his former team, the Orioles, put up some pretty good career numbers. He's .276 hitter against the Orioles, 4 home runs. Little chopper. It's going to be tough. Manny Machado's got time. Running throw, and he didn't get him. Infield hit.
Well, he gives you yourself some room. Look at how deep Manny Machado is. He's way back on the edge of the turf. And Steve Pearce just topping a ball. Great pitch. Bundy not rewarded. Steve Pearce sniffing a hit. He's hustling down the line. Bang, bang play there. Pearce getting on the board with a knock.
So Steve Pearce on with a single. Manny the running throw. Just didn't have time. Here's Chris Coughlin, who was added to the roster yesterday. Josh Donaldson back on the DL with that calf that is bothering him. Coughlin getting a shot, and the pitch will be taken outside. He's making the start at third base. Obviously for the Jays, losing Donaldson. big blow in their lineup, especially since Donaldson and Morales were really the only two bats that were doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, those two guys, you lose any one of them, and your offense is going to be hurting. Other guys trying to pick up the slack, and you try too hard in this game, and you get exposed.
Coghlan will foul that one back out of play. Goins waiting on deck. Bundy, the recipient of a lot of run support last year. Orioles averaged 7 runs in games that he started for the O's, with that 10-6 mark he put up last year. A little tougher in game 1 against Toronto, and the way this series has gone, maybe the tougher here. Another one, same place in the foul ball.
Just leaving a couple pitches up, giving this Blue Jays team a chance to extend some at bats. Over that front side, drive it down around the knees. But Dylan Bundy's stuff still good enough to where they can't square it up.
Coghlan with the Cubs and Oakland last year. 1-2 delivery on the way, and he got fooled down to third. That's going to be a fair ball. Bundy's going to gun it head first and got him. Dylan Bundy needed the fastball on that one. Play at first base. Oriole players looking over to the dugout of Toronto to see if there's going to be another challenge. Toronto has challenged one and won the challenge.
How about the play by Bundy here? Nasty little breaking ball. Bundy comes off, sets up on the backside, but look at Trey Mancini. Did he make an adjustment from one play to the next? Heck yeah, he did. Look at him stretch here. It's a nice stretch by Mancini, making it real close over at first base. Coghlan, of course, sniffing that hit.
And they're not going to challenge it. So a real good play to record the out. No runs, a hit, 1 left on. Tough innings. Appearance of the season. There are the numbers he put up. 4th pitcher in American League history with at least 6 innings, allowing a run in each of the first 3 games. Erwin Santana, big numbers in his start. April 15th, 2nd earliest calendar date for a Twins pitcher to give up just 1 hit. Carlos Martinez, he walked 8, he struck out 11 in a Cardinals win. No pitcher had put up that many walks and strikeouts in a game since Randy Johnson in '93. Carlos Martinez, 8 walks and 11 strikeouts.
That's a lot of pitches.
That's
right
a whole
there.
game.
Yeah, it is.
And that is a whole game. Hardy will foul that one back. JJ in the 9-hole has faced Happ a good deal. 4 for 26 off the left-hander. Happ no walks and a strikeout as we go to the 3rd inning. Orioles trying to take 3 out of 4. Jays trying to split the series. Tulowitzki. Well, the Orioles are going to be returning. They'll be home on April 21, 3-game series against the Red Sox. And on Saturday, the 22nd, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over get the Orioles welcome mat. You can go to Orioles.com/tickets or call 888-848-BIRD. Great welcome mat. Mother's Day coming, as Mike reminds us. You might want to put that one away. Did your wife hear that?
No, it's for the mother-in-law.
Oh, okay, I'm going to stop right there on that one. Your wife and your mother-in-law heard that.
Oh wait, I thought
that was Mike.
I thought we were wishing Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Fouled off down the line. And an 0-2 count on Gentry.
All right, well. You're going to get me in trouble, Gary.
Oh, I don't have to do that. Up the middle, that's going to be a base hit. Gentry is on with a single right back through the middle. And the Orioles get a runner on.
He needed that for sure. Gentry a slow start with the bat this season. 2 strikes taking it right back through the box. That'll put a smile on your face for sure. Martin wanted a high heater. Stays down in the zone. Gentry knows what to do with it.
So the Orioles with 1 down, 1 on. Adam Jones comes up. Reached on a swinging bunt when the throw by Happ pulled Morales off first base. Gentry can run. He's got a good lead over there. We said base stealers, 7 of 8 last year against him. That one foul back. Long ball right here.
Yeah, how about Adam back on April 5th when they were facing the Jays at Camden. Adam Jones a solo shot down the line. Of course, Chris Davis went deep in that ball game. Both starts for Happ this year. He's given up 2 long balls.
0-1 the count here. Adam now with 33 career home runs against the Toronto Blue Jays. As he and Chris Davis piling up the homers against the Jays in their career. Discussion now. Tulowitzki, the shortstop, will come in along with Martin going out. What they want to throw to Adam Jones, trying to get a ground ball double play here.
Yeah, and definitely want to control the running game. Gentry, of course, big stolen base last night. Where really the only speed on this Orioles team or true stolen base threat.
Orioles on the season have stolen just 3 out of 4. They've given up only 6. Toronto's not a running team either. They have had 1 stolen base in 2 chances. 0-1. Adam will take a pitch away. He thought about it. You saw Russell Martin give the sign to Happ with the glove. That's all right. That's where we wanted it.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to change his eyes. Try to get him out there on that outer third.
Adam with the 1-1. Trying to get the average up against the left-handers this year. There goes the runner. Ground ball to third. Only plays to first. Coughlin's throw is high and he's safe. Adam Jones, the Easter Bunny, is in his basket here today, as twice now he's had a ball in the infield and an error each time, allowing him to reach.
Yeah, well, and I'm telling you, hustling matters. Infielder picks his head up and sees Adam Jones flying down the line. Do a little something different. Throws it high there. And the Orioles another break. Of course, Gentry running might have done something different as well for Coughlin. There, yoiks in a way. Morales saving it from going up in the stands.
So now runners at first and second. Second error charged. Both throwing errors. And here's Manny Machado. Manny, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Gentry lead at second. He's trying to draw Happ's attention. And the pitch will be away for a ball. Another chance for the Orioles. Manny has gone 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So much better numbers in these situations than his overall batting average. Happ with a 1-0. That ball laced to short. Runners get back. Tulowitzki's got it. 2 down. Hit it hard.
Oh, yeah, he did. Now, take a look at the PNC minor league report here. Randolph Gassaway, outfielder in Frederick, doing very well last night. 3 for 4 with a home run, 3 stakes in the 5-1 win over Carolina. A good start to the season. 314 with the bomb and 6 RBIs. 21 years old, out of Atlanta, Georgia. 16th round pick back in 2013. He was only 18 years old when he signed. Nice to see him getting off to a good start this year. PNC for the achiever in you.
Real good start. Mark Trumbo, a double his first time up. He broke an 0 for 14 against Happ and an 0 for 11 in this series with that double. The Orioles need him to get another one right here. Long look back at second base where Gentry is. Trumbo has had the most chances for the Orioles so far with the runner in scoring position. He's gone 4 for 12. The Orioles, while they are second in batting average in these situations, continue to be last or next to last in at bats in these situations. That one's going to be in an outside corner as well. So Happ threading and an 0-2 count.
Now painting on the outside corner. Wanting Trumbo to turn and burn. Of course, Trumbo, his numbers on pitches away, not as impressive as we'd think. The O's walking off those leads. And Jones getting way out there, obviously, with Gentry at second base.
And the 0-2 delivery on the way in the dirt. Went back out, but this time out of the strike zone, and Martin was there to make the block on it. The Orioles already in the ball game with the chances they've had. They're 0 for 2.
And base runners, you know, you get a runner in front of you. You see these leads here. Adam Jones is thinking about beating the force at second base. That's what he's getting off so far. You'll see him extend out to 15, 16 feet.
Morales way off the bag behind him and up high and got him. So Happ gets his second strikeout. The Orioles no runs, a hit and an error, and leave 2 on. Is brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you, and by Ocean City. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City. Book now, OCOcean.com. Another tight game between these two teams here in Toronto. No score. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Big crowd yesterday, over 40,700. And the big crowd on hand here in this Easter Sunday day in Toronto. Ryan Goins to lead it off. Manning in the 9 spot. Moves Manny in at 3rd. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. See the 1 for 4 that he has put up here in the series. Pilar at the top, and then Carrera against Bundy, who hasn't walked anybody and has struck out 2. The 0-1, Goins will go after it. Right to Scope. Mancini at first. Another quick out. The way these ball games have gone, all 5 of them. just dominated by the pitching, particularly the starters.
Yeah, it seems like both offenses still a little out of rhythm right now. We talk about coming into today's game anyway, the opportunities with runners on base. The Blue Jays are getting some runners on. They're just not capitalizing with that big hit. It's all about the timely hitting.
Yeah, they've had better chances than the Orioles have had, even though they're last in batting average with runners in scoring position at 155. Swing and a miss. Bundy away again. Tigers have taken over the #1 spot in that category. Then the Orioles, Boston, Astros, and Rangers round out the top 5 in the American League. Pilar double, got stranded in the first inning. 5-game hit streak for the center fielder. Pitch away, did not go around on it, and a 2-ball 1-strike count.
Well, Dylan Bundy feeling good about that slider. Steele recognizing it as well, putting that number down quite often. Really working that outer edge hard.
2-1 delivery to him. That will be foul back. Take a look around Major League Baseball. The Orioles still with the best winning percentage in all of the majors at .700. The only in the American League East, the only team undefeated at home, the Yankees. They're 5-0. The Orioles have the best record against the East by Eastern Division teams. Orioles are 7-3 against the East. Pitch will be taken up high. Largest lead end of 2 weeks goes to Houston, and it's just 2 games over the Dodgers. Dodgers have lost 4 in a row. Houston's won 4 in a row. 3-ball 2-strike delivery on the way. Orioles are going to be heading to Cincinnati. I'm not sure people expected to see the Reds start out 8-4. They're 5-1 on the road.
Yeah, I don't think the Reds expected themselves to be in that position either, but the bullpen has really been stepping up for that team. It's pretty amazing. They almost have as many innings as the rotation.
Yeah. Strike taken, just put that one down the middle, 2 down.
Well, steady diet off-speed pitches to start this ball game. A lot of changeups, a lot of sliders. Well, Pilar thinking, all right, well, he's ahead of me. Got to go with another breaking ball. Dylan Bundy says, how about Powder River? 94, right down the middle. Pair of shoes for Pilar.
Bundy now with 3 Ks. 2 down, nobody on. Carrera base hit. His first time up. Take the pitch for a strike. Orioles have the day off tomorrow, and then 3 games, 7 o'clock starts. Kevin Gausman, Bronson Arroyo, Ubaldo Jimenez, Amir Garrett, and the left-hander Wade Miley against former Oriole Scott Feldman in Game 3 in Cincinnati. 1-ball 1-strike count. Ubaldo, Game 2. The 1-1 pitch will just miss inside. Carrera taking it, and a 2-ball 1-strike count to him. Ezekiel Carrera single, and then taken out on the front end of a double play that ended the first inning. Watches that one go by. Pretty good patience. 3-1.
Yeah, that's a good take. That is a nice changeup. Sometimes it just blows me away. Guys laying off these nasty pitches. Do they see something? Is there some sort of tell they're picking up? Their eyes that good.
3-1. He'll foul that one off. And Bundy takes a full count here with 2 down and nobody on.
Well, another AB with a lot of off-speed pitches as we look to Joey Bats right there. Is Bundy going to pitch backwards again?
3-2 again, fouled away at 93 that time.
He does.
Carrera battling. Carrera leadoff hitter, number 2 hitter today, number 9 or 8 hitter much of last year. Lineup juggled, just trying to get it going. 3-2 pitch on the way to him, and a chopper. Baltimore chop. Bundy's got a little more time here. Makes the throw and will record the out. And a 1-2-3 inning. So we've completed 3 and Easter eggs on the board. The all-wheel drive RAV4. Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick with you here. Trey Mancini getting his first start at first base. Bobby Dickerson takes care of the infield, talking to him about how to stretch and get balls thrown.
He's had some testers for sure, and Bobby's real good about getting right there and talking to the players about making adjustments, especially a young player like Mancini.
That going on between innings. Orioles with 2 hits. Toronto's got 3. No score. Jay Happ's delivery is swung on and missed. Davis flied out to left field his first time up. He's in the DH role all game today. Now 4 for 13 with 2 home runs, lifetime off Happ. And that pitch will be in the outside corner for a strike. Starting to build up some of these at bats against both right and left-handers for all the players around the majors. Chris has now gone 6 for 18 with a home run against left-handers. We'll foul that one away. I'd love to get those numbers in for a season.
Now how about back on April 5th? The Crusher. He takes Happ deep as well. First long ball into the O's bullpen. It was actually Darren O'Day who flagged that one down.
0-2 delivery by Happ. He will miss outside. Davis, Castillo, and Mancini due up for the Orioles. Orioles trying to win yet another series, which they've done successfully against the Jays. Takes that one the other way. Steve Pearce. Couple of fly balls to left by Davis. Time is running out on your chance to earn exclusive orange carpet benefits by becoming an Orioles full or partial season plan member. Get great savings over the cost of single game tickets, Major League's most flexible exchange policy. Learn more about it at Orioles.com/season. Wellington Castillo flied out to right field his first time up. Four outs recorded in the air so far against Happ, who is a predominant ground ball pitcher. So maybe getting some pitches up a little bit early on in the game.
Well, I think he might pitch according, obviously, to the offense. Although the last time he faced the Orioles, he threw a lot more two-seamers. But Martin want the four-seamer up at the top of the zone. So many of these Oriole hitters.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Happ retires 75% of leadoff batters. That's a big number. Orioles have not had the leadoff man on in 4 innings. Came in a little bit on the fist, fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Mancini and then Scope. These games have all had a similar track as far as pitchers dominating the offense. It's just all of the games. This is the 6th that look like this, and he chases one away.
That's a good pitch there. That's either the two-seam fastball or that change we talked about. He's throwing it hard. Look at the late action as it dive bombs down and away from Castillo. Throws it hard too. 87 miles an hour to get that kind of action. Castillo down swinging.
Happ struck out 9 Orioles in that first game he pitched this season against them. He's got 3 now. Will miss the outside corner just a bit. Mancini. Very grounded out his first time up. Mancini now at first, left, and right in starts for the Orioles this year. 1-0 pitch will be taken away. He'll probably get a DH roll or 2 along the way as well. As Buck Showalter, as always, he wants everybody to stay involved. Guys who are generally not in the starting lineup to get their chances. Mancini's kind of one of those who's not exactly a bench player and not exactly a starter.
Right. Yeah, Buck's just trying to find ways to get him in there. A lot of pieces to this offense right now for Buck Showalter to kind of juggle around. He's kind of waiting for somebody to take hold.
2-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to be another swinging bunt. That's going to be a base hit. One hopper gets by. Mancini will stay. as he gets backed up by both Goins and Carrera, the second baseman and the right fielder. So the Orioles get another runner on an infield hit, and Mancini gets a 2-out single.
Oh, we've seen a few of these top balls by both pitchers here in this ball game. That means great late movement. The effort by Martin, the athletic play right there, but Mancini hustling down the line. Will slide to the ball, a little pirouette, spins back around. Fortunately, good backup by the Jays as Mancini stays at first.
So Trey Mancini gives the Orioles their third hit of the ball game. 2 down, 1 on, and Jonathan Schoop. Schoop is 5 for 23 off the Toronto starter. Infield plays him to pull, goes the other way towards the gap, slicing, but will stay up. Ezequiel Carrera over to give it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We remain 0-0. The New York Post interviewed Ralph Branca about Jackie Robinson. Ralph played with Jackie Robinson, and he said, you think about what it had to be like to go to work every day, every single day, knowing you were going to be judged by your every move. Ralph Branca shook his head. That's what amazed me, Branca said. He had to be great, and he was great. Branca's point was, for all that Jackie did off the field and the color barrier being broken, if he had not performed well, if he had not played well, what would it have looked like then?
Right? Oh, my.
Yeah. You just don't think about that very much because he played so well. Pitch is taken for a strike, Dylan Bundy.
Well, I don't know that Branch Rickey would have taken a chance on somebody that he doubted, you know, or had a feeling that maybe not could have handled that kind of pressure.
All those stories, those great stories about how much time he spent looking around, talking to people in baseball, minor leagues. Who would you take? Who would you take? 1-1 delivery on the way. Clyde Sukforth was the manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers when he came to play. When I was a part owner of a ball club in Maine, Maine Guides, AAA team, Clyde Sukforth lived in Maine at the time. He was an elderly gentleman. Came to every one of our games. He would come out in April when it would be 35, 40 degrees at night, wrapped in a coat and a blanket, and sit directly behind home plate. We gave him seats. I didn't really know that much about him at the time. And I said, you know, I met him and then realized, oh my God, this was Branch Rickey's right-hand man.
Wow.
In picking Jackie Robinson, and he loved baseball so much. Retired in Maine, he'd come out to the ballpark and watch our games.
Nice.
Loyal fan.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
Bautista, strikeout victim. Morales and Tulowitzki to follow. And there is the first walk of the ball game.
Well, Dylan Bundy doing his best, trying to mix it up, keep Bautista off balance. If that change might have been on the plate a little bit more, might have gotten an effort.
7th walk picked up. Bautista gets a lot of those in the course of a year. Catches Morales. Morales get into a double play his first time up. Shift on against him, and the pitch is taken for a strike. Right now, he's the leader of the current Jays in average against the Orioles. Came in hitting .339. He's hit safely in 13 of the last 16 games he has played in against the Orioles, including the walk-off home run last early evening. Pitch is taken inside.
Nice fastball right there by Bundy. Not once inside, but twice, backing it up. He's been mixing up his pitches all afternoon. Your second time through. Show that fastball a little bit more.
1 ball, 1 strike. Bundy staying in. Will miss with that pitch, and the count will go to 2-1.
See the Orioles in the double play shift. Usually when the Orioles shift, scopes out in shallow right field. He's a little deep on the infield for double play depth, but opportunity to turn 2. Give yourself as much room as possible.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Short lead at first. Another one not close inside. So Morales refusing to bite, and the count goes to 3-1. Tulowitzki waiting on deck. Bautista lead at first base. 3-1 delivery on the way. Wanted that one and got none of it. 3-2.
Dylan Bundy back in the count here. Going to be interesting to see how he attacks him. 3-2 count. He's mixed it up throughout the ball game. He's thrown changeups. He's thrown heaters. He's thrown the slider.
3 ball, 2 strike count. Bautista running. Fouled away. So John Gibbons putting him in motion here with nobody out in the 4th inning.
A little risky. Seeing how Morales, a line drive hitter. I think you got to do a few different things when your offense is kind of stagnant. Shake it up a little bit. Kind of get some infielders to move, open up some holes.
See if he will send him again. Bundy will take an extra look over. 3-2, runner goes. Morales. There's a double play, and there's the risk.
There it is.
Mancini hit right to him as he came off the bag.
Now right side of the infield filled with Orioles. Tough to get it by him. And Mancini, the athleticism, gets the feet off the ground, taking extra bases away. Potential scoring opportunity. Goes to double play.
Orioles have turned 2 double plays here in the first 4 innings. Tulowitzki grounded out his first time up. And the shift moves to the other side of the infield. Tulowitzki goes after that first pitch away again. And an 0-1 count. Dylan Bundy looking for his second win. 2-1 in the 2 starts, beating Toronto, losing to Boston. Even though he gave up only 3 runs, 7 hits, 6 in the 3rd against the Red Sox. A little slower, 82.
Man, what a changeup Bundy possesses. Incredible arm speed, first of all. Dylan Bundy, not a big man. I mean, he's a strong kid, don't get me wrong, but about 6 feet tall, so he's got to create some angle somehow. He gets on top. He cuts it loose. Great arm sell with all of his pitches. Power fastball, so you cheat a little bit. You leak on that change and you're done.
Way up. Look at the target. And Tulowitzki went upstairs and fouls it off. So the count will remain at 0-2. Bundy looking like the starter the Orioles had hoped he would be so far this year. 0-2 pitch on the way off the end of the bat. Cue shot foul. Count will stay at 2 strikes. Tulowitzki battling.
And Dylan got away with 1 right there. Get ahead 0-2. All kinds of room to mess around, expand the plate a little bit. Castilla wanting that slider. This is a nice out pitch for Dylan Bundy. We've seen so many swing and misses, but it better be down. It better be buried when you're this far ahead. That one stayed too long on the plate.
Tulowitzki, 4 doubles, leads the Jays in that department. Gets one out to center. Adam Jones in, and he's gone. And only 3 faced despite a leadoff walk. So, pitching duel again. No score. Who covers Tampa Bay. He says what we know is that Jake Odorizzi, their starter at Tampa Bay, was placed on the 10-day DL, meaning he's going to miss at least 2 starts. And the right-hander Chase Whitley has been called up from AAA Durham to add a fresh arm to a weary bullpen that covered 7 innings on Saturday. Odorizzi injured in the ball game yesterday.
Arms
everywhere, huh?
Yeah.
Happ and Bundy, good arms. Hardy grounded out his first time up. Top of the order, Gentry, and then Jones for the Orioles. And the left-hander's delivery will miss up high for a ball. JJ trying to get above that 200 mark. Couple of hits will get you there in a hurry. He's had some key hits for the Orioles already this season, as JJ has found the long ball with a home run and 4 RBIs. Only 1 walk so far, 8 strikeouts. 2-0 count. Happ will just lay that one in.
Yeah, JJ Hardy going deep in this series. One of the best righties in the game. It was Aaron Sanchez flipping up a big breaking ball. He dropped the head on it.
Got a hold of that one to deep left center field. That's in the gap. Chasing, diving. Pilar can't get it up and over. It'll be a ground rule double. As Pilar went sliding on the artificial carpet. Says, give me a hand. And Steve Pearce does.
Oh. Well, JJ Hardy, some limited success against Happ. Every time he hits the ball, though, it seems like it's a double. His 4th double off Jay Happ. How about that effort there by Pilar, knocking the wind out of himself? Seems like every night he's doing something to that body. Man, oh man, what an effort there.
So another chance for the Orioles. They're 0 for 3. Runners in scoring position. That ground rule double puts Hardy on at second base, and Gentry will get the corners moved way in. Coughlin at third, Morales at first. Looking for the bunt. Gentry has singled and grounded out. Real good speed. Does not bunt and fouls it back. So trying to drive one past the drawn in corners here, and they're not buying it. They're staying in.
Yeah, I mean, the Orioles don't bunt too much, and they haven't since Buck Showalter took the reins of this team. He's all about the big hairy guys going up there and busting some. And tell you what, Buck does not like giving away outs early in a ball game either.
Corner's still in again, not bunting. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
See him flashing the signs to Bobby Dickerson.
Hardy down at second, getting a very good secondary lead. They're not, middle infield not holding him tight to the bag. So he's going to get a good jump here. And they still stay in at the corners. Gentry is 4 for 12 off Happ lifetime. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. And that will be taken down low. Count goes to 2-1. And they're just going to keep that infield drawn in, whether he intended to bunt or not, to keep the bunt maybe away from him. They've not backed up.
No, I think the concern here, not that Gentry can't lay down the perfect bunt, but it would have to be potentially perfect.
Broken back ground ball. Runner's got to go back to second base. Tulowitzki got him. See the speed of Gentry going down the line. Made it close. And that ball hit right at the runner Hardy.
Yeah, how about Tulowitzki having to make an adjustment after fielding that ground ball. Hardy going back, hard hit ball and up the middle. But he was in the way of Tulo. Tulo had to reroute himself to make that play to get Gentry.
So the shattered bat out on a ground ball leaves the runner at second and 1 down. And Adam Jones will get the RBI chance.
And JJ kind of shaking his head about that potential read, thinking he could have got over to third base.
No score in this ball game. 4 hits for the Orioles, 3 for Toronto. Jones has reached on 2 errors in the infield. 1 on a throw by Happ, and the other on a throw by third baseman Coghlan. And after that pitch, Martin's going back out to the mound. Tulowitzki always comes in from short on these meetings. We may have an injury look here as the skipper and trainer are coming out.
Oh boy, another blister possibly. Sanchez went down with the blister.
He got a little blood right there.
Wow.
Looks like there might be. He's got to come out of the game. Wow. So Happ looks like he's got a bleeding blister on that pitching hand. They just put a starter, Aaron Sanchez, on the DL today. Same problem. Now they're going to lose their left-hander Happ, so this bullpen will be called on in the scoreless game. Going to come on And we'll get a chance to talk a bit about the Orioles bullpen, Mike, with the DL now and the closer, Zack Britton, on it for at least 10 days. What do you think?
Well, you know, Buck talked about Donnie Hart, who has closer experience in the minor leagues. He was called up from Double-A last season and really only gave up 1 run in his 18 innings of work. So he has that kind of mentality to finish a ball game out, but so does Michael Givens. Michael Givens was a closer in Double-A as well when he got called up. But I'll tell you, Brad Brock's my guy. If you're not going to have a legitimate closer, Brad Brock has the best swing and miss stuff, all 3 of his pitches. And I'm telling you, if he left this team, we hope he doesn't.
Yeah.
He would be a closer on any other team in baseball.
And you can fill the other spots. I mean, with the names you've already mentioned, Hart and Givens, you got Darren O'Day ready to go, could move back into that 8th inning role if you had to. And also the other thing is Buck loves matching up. So without going to individual names even, he'll probably do some of this just based on who's at the plate.
Yeah, I think so. I think ultimately that's how it will go. But you have to have length to do that. So you hope a starter can get you deep into a ball game, and then you can start matching up to end the game. And Buck might work it to where he'll have a long guy kind of eat up more innings to get to the back end. It's real nice right now. If an O starter can get 6 innings under his belt, it's lining up perfectly with O'Day, with Brad Brock, and with Zack Britton at the end. But now you got to readjust. And Buck's really good about managing ball games like this. One of the best in the business about using a bullpen.
All right. Zack Britton, if you missed it earlier, is on the DL. 10-day DL went on that today. And Happ is out of the ball game. Looks like a blister on the pitching hand. So Toronto will bring somebody in from the bullpen and as much time as necessary to get warmed up. Scoreless ball game.
The blister, the dreaded blister. Aaron Sanchez just put on the disabled list because of a blister on his throwing hand. Happ possibly headed that way as well. Only lasting the 4 1/3. Orioles touching him for just the 4 hits, but no earned runs on the board for Jay Happ. Give way to Joe Biagini. Biagini has all 4 pitches. Potential long man for this team. I'll tell you what, opportunities starting to rise here for pitchers for the Blue Jays. Biagini, a pretty good one. 172 overall batting average, has nice life in the zone. Good power fastball, throwing the mid-90s. Has curve, slider, and change to go along with it.
He was considered for a starting spot in the spring on this team, so he may get a shot at it here. In fact, they also lose Happ. So the Orioles trying to get a run on the board. Runner on at second base. Hardy led it off with a double. Gentry grounded out. Now Biagini will face Adam Jones with a 1-0 count. Biagini, the right-handers, appeared against the Orioles this year in 3 previous games. No runs, 2 hits, 4 innings. 1-0 delivery to Adam, and the pitch taken away for a ball. So now the right-hander comes on in the middle of the ball game against the lineup the Orioles had set for a left-hander, and usually managers are reluctant at this point to get the players in you would have had in against a right-hander. That may not be so much the case for Buck Showalter, though, because there's only one left-hander in the bullpen for Toronto, and that's Aaron Loup.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So the Jays can't do a lot of matching up. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Jones. Adam 2 for 5 off Biagini. Runner off second base. Good pitch down and in.
Man, he really gets on top. Creates a tough angle. If he keeps it down, it's even tougher. That fastball at 93 located perfectly across the knees on the inside corner.
Biagini worked an inning, giving up 1 hit, faced only 3 batters in the ball game yesterday. That ball will be fouled away. Biagini also appeared in game 2. He worked an inning and a third, gave up nothing, and had 2 strikeouts. So he's getting some work in out of the bullpen here in this series.
Well, Biagini kind of earned a spot as last year, pitching himself into some higher leveraged situations. Seems like Biagini is Gibbons' go-to man. Well trusted out there in this bullpen.
A lot of strikes thrown. Doesn't walk many. 2-2 delivery on the way. Adam got a hole over there, and he's got a base hit. Making the turn, J.J. Hardy up with it. And the runner goes back to third. They got a runner and a rundown. Now Hardy's at third. Chasing back to the bag. Here comes the runner home. Throw not in time. And the Orioles will get a run. So they kept him in the rundown long enough for J.J. Hardy to break to the plate. And the Orioles will get a run. Jones, a base hit, is taken out in the rundown.
Wow. It was an ugly run for the Orioles, but somehow got it done. Adam Jones, what a piece of hitting. We've seen him use right field a lot start this season. Nice piece there, and Adam Jones puts his head down because he thinks there's going to be a play at the plate, so he's trying to induce this throw. He does, but Hardy was held up at third. Once he gets too low running towards first, Hardy takes off running. Bobby Dickerson says, all right, take a look at this. He's waiting. Tulo on the run, full speed. Get going, JJ. And there is a play not in time.
Don't see a lot of runs scored that way, but the Orioles will take it, and they get the 1-0 lead in the ball game. That ball is put up in the air by Manny Machado, foul territory. Chris Coughlin over and will not have enough room. Machado has lined out and struck out. There is Hardy, smiling a bit, using his great speed.
Yeah.
Off third base. Adam Jones keeping that rundown alive long enough.
Well, listen, this Orioles team does not have a lot of speed. They haven't for a few years now. So they have to pay attention to the detail of base running. Little things they need to do the right way. That ball that Gentry hit up the middle. You know, JJ, a great veteran. You saw him shaking his head. He knows he had an opportunity to get over the third. Would have been a completely different at bat for Adam Jones. The good news is they were able to put that mark on the board.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Base is empty. There are 2 down. And popped up right at the mound. Anybody? Goins has got it. Second baseman gets it. Orioles retired, but they pick up a run on 2 hits. J.J. Hardy coming in with Jones in the rundown. On Masson, brought to you by Antwerpen Toyota. Get in the game this season with a new Toyota from Antwerpen Toyota. And by University of Maryland Medical System, be part of something greater. Big turnstile, it's just outside the dome here with the old railroad locomotives on hand and a brewing company nearby and a little train to ride on for the kids and adults. There are the two combining, with Jones getting a base hit, no RBI, gets caught in the rundown. Hardy at third base scores. The Orioles have the 1-0 lead for Dylan Bundy. He'll get the strike in to Russell Martin. Toronto catcher struck out swinging, first time up, 1 for 8 in this 4-game series. Bundy's pitch to him out in front, fouled it off.
Yeah, really, Martin, the key, I think, to this whole offense. See the slow start right there, hitting 069, no RBI, no home runs. He does have power, and they count on him middle of this lineup, get things going. And when he's not right, seen it maybe reflect in his catching. There's a pass ball the other day when Sanchez was pitching, little backhander for the catcher on a curve that he didn't get in front of, allowed Chris Davis to score. And that's why he had the off day yesterday. They need him to get things going with the bat.
Dylan Bundy, the 1-2 delivery to him, another one off speed. Bundy working inside. He's had 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Jay Happ was charged with that run, so he gave up a run on 4 hits and 4 1/3. No walks, 3 strikeouts, coming out with the what we thought was a blister. Swung on and missed. Another K.
A beautiful slider there. He has thrown a couple nasty ones. This one located perfectly, 83. How about it, down and away to Martin. Martin trying to do too much. Get about 10 hits in 1 swing. Typically you might see him take that the other way. Bundy taking advantage there.
That'll bring Steve Pearce up, a base hit. His first time up. Bundy's retired 4 of the 5 leadoff batters in the game. Pearce going after that breaking ball going away. Perez in the bullpen. Biagini having been used now 3 out of the 4 games. Not wanting to keep him out there for very long, probably. Steve Pearce. Steve ended up finishing the year in the DL last season. Had a strained right flexor mass that kept him out. He's played for 4 of the 5 teams in the American League East now. Only the Red Sox, the only team he hasn't played for.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Teams that see a player that has success in the East, they keep him here. Whether it be a pitcher or a hitter, it's a tough division.
Pearce out in front.
I think the fact that Steve Pearce has made himself a more well-rounded player over the years, I think in large part due to Buck Showalter trusting his versatility. He can play first, he can play second, he can play the outfield, and he can hit bombs.
0-2 delivery to him. Buck asked about Steve when he was with the Orioles and put him at second base. How'd you know he could play second base? I didn't. That's why I put him out there.
To find out.
To find out.
Yeah. There's something to be said about just well-rounded baseball players. You put them anywhere on the field and they're going to do okay.
Yep. 1 ball, 2 strike count, 1 away. Pearce had a base hit his first time up. 1-2 delivery by Bundy, and again, how many swings and misses on that located pitch?
Well, the finish is ridiculous. I mean, it goes quite a ways without much break, and when it decides to finally drop, it drops hard and heavy, disappearing. They're not even making contact on this pitch. Fun to watch Bundy work.
So with 2 away, nobody on. Chris Coughlin coming up. Grounded out his first time up on a comebacker and a fine play made by Bundy on a strong throw to first base. Breaking ball will be outside. 4 of the 5 strikeouts that Dylan has recorded in this game have been swinging third strikes. And comes right back. Keeps it down 1-1.
Boy, what a change. You know, as a hitter, okay, you had a pitcher that flips in a curveball, tries to steal a strike. You know, it's a close ball game. Hitter says, all right, He's not going to throw me another breaking ball. He's coming with the heat to try to get back into the count. And Bundy trusts the change so much. Nasty changeup to get right back in.
Then you're almost guaranteed to foul off the next fastball, but you can't get around it.
It's all about disrupting that time and rhythm. Castilla has recognized that, and fortunately the Orioles pitchers have had command of 2-3 pitches, so he's had the ability to mix up the pitches.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery, and goes back outside with it. Best scoring chance in the game for Toronto first inning. First 2 got on. They could not bring anybody home. Ended with a double play hit into by Morales. 2-2 pitch off the fists and foul. Since the first, the only base runners for the Jays, the single by Pierce in the second, and a walk in the 4th inning to Bautista. J.J. Hardy scoring the Oriole run in the rundown. Runs have been hard to come by in this series against Toronto this year. Got around too far around, fouls it off.
Good pitch. Nice job battling by Coughlin there. For a high fastball, nasty hard slider down and in. Just kind of fight, keep the at bat going, hope for a mistake. Up and out over.
7th pitch of this at bat. 2-2. And that's going to be a base hit. He got one up that time and didn't let it go by. So Coughlin's on with a single with 2 down in the 5th inning for Goins. Memberships for the Junior Orioles Dugout Club going fast, and only the slugger plans remain. Sign up today for the best value in family entertainment. Only $25. Tickets to 6 games. A variety of exclusive items, including that great backpack. Join at Orioles.com/Dugout Club. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick wrapping up the 4-game set here in Toronto. Ryan Goins up, grounded out his first time up. 5 hits for the Orioles, 4 for the Jays. Bundy's delivery to him. That's going to go to short. Woo! That one is head high and had a little whip on it at the end. Goins is retired. No runs a hit. 1 left on. Orioles up 1-0. On Tuesday, Kevin Gausman on the mound against Bronson Arroyo. Coverage on Masson begins at 6:30 with those extra, presented by Jeep. Game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on Masson.
Take a look at a little Reds preview right here. 8-4 first in the Central. Are you kidding me? Isn't that where the Chicago Cubs play? Well, Reds are off to a phenomenal start. Zach Cozart, their shortstop, helping in a big way. 485 batting average, 3 triples. It was 6-3 all time against the Reds with their first interleague matchup of the year. Back to the Jays bullpen. Ryan Tepera now into the ball game. This will be his 5th appearance. 180 earned run average. Big arm. Fastball mid to high 90s. Has a nice slider. Likes to manipulate it. He'll cut it. He'll also have a little tilt on the power slider as well.
Tepera worked an inning in game 2 in this series and surrendered just 1 walk. Mike Trumbo will lead it off against him and goes after the first pitch down the line to the seats. No play and a foul ball. This will be Tepera's 3rd outing against the Orioles. He's worked 2 innings this year and has given up nothing. Trumbo with a double, stranded in the 1st inning. Davis, then Castillo up against him. 0-1 count. Right-hander's delivery to Mark will be taken over the top and down. So a bullpen game with Happ having to come out with what looked like a broken blister on the pitching hand after 4 1/3. And they have used the bullpen pretty extensively in this series already. 1-1 pitch up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. So the Orioles get the leadoff man on here in the 6th inning as Trumbo delivers the single. Those fans want to see behind the scenes photos like this one. Follow Masson O's on Instagram for ballpark shots, insider videos, and much more. That's Masson Orioles on Instagram. Chris Davis has flied out to left field twice.
Blue Jays called the option on the shift, pulling Coghlan over on the second base side, leaving Tulowitzki at short.
Chris has had a home run against this right-hander, and that one a breaking ball, something off it, down and in. Davis, then Castillo coming up. The Orioles leadoff man on. Last 2 innings they've done that. Hardy had that double in the 5th and scored. Now they're trying to do the same with Trumbo on. Bears delivery. That'll be down low. Runner stays.
Blue Jays got a big break right there. Russell Martin kind of whiffing this one and ended up playing Plinko off everybody's legs back there. Take a look. Ball bouncing around, hits the umpire a couple times. Martin's glove stays right at the feet.
And Davis gets a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Now these are the type of situations, and I am not an advocate of Chris Davis bunting. I'm not. I'd rather see him hit the long ball every time. But this time of the ball game, you got the lead, you got an open side of the field.
That one's going to get away, and that's going to take a runner down to second base. So Trumbo gets in scoring position as Martin had to chase that one down.
And that changes things a little bit. As he swings at the hard slider, Martin can't corral that one. Trumbo walks into second base.
Wild pitch. Well, they get a runner in scoring position. Tepera with a little word.
A little communication about how they're going to work the shift now. Coghlan's going to stay on that second base side. Tulowitzki's just going to move towards third a little bit more. Got to protect, honor the potential steal.
1-ball 2-strike count. The delivery to Davis has popped him up. Martin will take a look back. That's a souvenir. So back to second base goes Trumbo. 1-0 lead. All about D and pitching. Now they will change the shift again. Put Tulowitzki over on the second base side and bring Coghlan back over, the third baseman.
There you go. A lot of times it's more of the comfort factor as far as positioning on these shifts.
Nobody out. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Chris will take it. Tepera missing on that one. There are the numbers in these situations today. Both these teams in the series, not particularly high numbers for getting people home. That's why these games have been so close. 2-ball 2-strike delivery on the way, and that's inside. The 3-ball, 2-strike count on Davis.
And being real careful here, not letting the crusher get his arms extended, really crowding him tight with the fastballs and hard sliders.
Chris will get his 7th pitch. Castillo will wait on deck. Full count delivery, and he goes after it, and another one that's going to end up in the seats.
You know, there are going to be games, obviously, between these two teams where the offenses really click. They're going to hit a lot of home runs. They're going to be high-scoring affairs. But the reason they have these low-scoring ball games and, you know, the defense making all these plays, they play each other so many times. They are so familiar. Okay, you get all the tendencies on the paperwork, but when you have your eyes on guys and you see what they do on a daily basis so many times over the last 5 years, not many players have changed on these two teams. They know where to position guys, how to pitch guys. What you're seeing time and time again, low scoring affairs, you know, the defense coming up with these miracle plays, you know, they're just familiar with each other.
Certainly familiarity has been true. That's inside. He draws the walk. So the Orioles get runners on at first and second base. That's the first walk the Orioles have picked up today. So much to see and do on the beaches and islands of Sarasota, Florida's Gulf Coast. Discover the sophisticated ambiance of Lido Key with their great 3 beaches. And a stop at St. Armand's Circle, a mecca for foodies, shopaholics alike. You can find out about it at visitsarasota.com. So Castillo the chance. He has flied out and struck out. Runners on at first and second base. The Orioles lead it 1-0. Trying to take 3 out of 4. For his delivery. He'll come with a fastball. Just had to get ahead on Castillo and got it in there. Castillo's gone 2 for 4 in these situations early on this season. He'll have a number of them based on his positioning in the lineup around that number 6 spot. Barra's delivery and inside. We're talking about how tightly these teams have played against one another over the last 2 years. There have been 11 one-run games between the Jays and the Orioles.
Yeah, and also think about, you know, in 15 the Orioles won the division. I mean, in 15 the Blue Jays won the division. 14 the Orioles won the division. Last year they're wild card teams. I mean, how much more even can you be, right?
It's become a pretty good competitive heads-up matchup. Leone in the bullpen. Looks like John Gibbons going to go an inning each if he can get the inning. There's nobody out here. Castillo with a 1-2 count. Way outside. Just doesn't look very sharp today in these pitches. Trying to get the Orioles to chase, and they're not doing it.
That's good. Good for the Orioles. You know, that ability to lay off those nasty pitchers' pitches. Get some more guys on base.
That one reached for a little soft liner. No play anywhere else. Goins hauled it in. 1 down. Runners stay first, second base. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the American Diabetes Association. The Orioles have 24 walks, a total of $1,200. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. So Trey Mancini, a base hit, and he is grounded out. He's hit successfully in the last 4 games that he's appeared in, getting his first start in the majors at first base today. Mancini's hit with a runner in scoring position, a 1 for 5, a home run. He's got 2 on here with Trumbo and Davis. Para 0-1. Mancini asked for the timeout. 1 delivery to him, way outside, just snagged. Russell Martin got that one in the webbing of the glove.
What a play there. We've seen him come down with a couple of these plays where he's just had to basically dive to keep it from hitting the backstop. Here about a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, just yanked. How about that backhand?
Mancini 1-1. Out ahead of the 88 and a 1-2 pitch, 1-2 count.
Nice pitch, just enough late movement, but away from Mancini.
One and two. Leadoff single Trumbo, walk by Davis. 1-2 delivery.
Nice take right there.
Oh, he's going to work him. 2-2. He seems to have a very good idea of the strike zone. Mancini doesn't chase a lot. Young player, you might expect to go after some pitches, but he's done a pretty good job of not doing that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Upright stance. Changed that a little bit from last year. And he got it way back in left field. Trey Mancini, and goodbye home run into the second deck. And off the bat, you could hear the homer in that one. And ahead of him come Trumbo and Davis, and the Orioles have a 4-0 lead.
My, oh my. You want to talk about some bat speed? This is the buggy whip swing here. Now you got to be thinking Tepera's been working outside, nasty sliders. He can cut it, throws it hard out there. Talked about the good fastball, 95-96 as Mancini beats on his 3rd home run of the season. Unbelievable reaction time.
Close your eyes and listen, and you would know by the sound that ball was out of here. How about the fact he's got 8 RBIs now? And the pitch taken up high by Scope.
Well, let's take a look and listen here. Steady diet outside. Ooh, 95 in off the plate. No head movement, just hands flying through the zone. Bat head to baseball. 3-run homer.
Jonathan Scope, that'll be foul back. So the Orioles continue to do what they do and who they are. It's about hitting the long ball. And these multiple RBI homers. A 4-0 game, 4 runs on 7 hits, and Trey Mancini started with the Orioles last year with the home run. Has continued to hit them. Scope will foul that one away. Trey, of course, came up last year, played in only 8 games, but delivered 3 home runs, had 5 RBIs, and became the 3rd player in Major League history to homer in each of his first 3 Major League starts.
Yeah, he hasn't played all but maybe what 14 or 15 big league games, and he can hit like he's been here for 10 years.
Started to go after it, lays off it. Yep, Mancini, and he's not even in there every day, but he's certainly knocking on that door.
That was impressive. That fastball was 95. It was in off the plate. He's just seen 4 pitches on the outer third and away.
That ball is drilled to left field. That's going to be a base hit. So Jonathan Scope's got a 5-game hit streak, and Tepera just not getting it done.
Well, home runs among rookies, and Trey Mancini leading the way with 3. Give him some more ABs, Buck. Might see more homers up there. That home run leaderboard brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
So John Gibbons is on his way out. Remember, Happ had to leave after 4 1/3. The lefty starter, apparent blister on his pitching hand, so now it's all bullpen. Orioles up 4-0. Stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube perform a free brake inspection today.
And Dominic Leone coming out of the Jays bullpen. This will be his 4th appearance. 208 earned run average. Looking good to start the season. 4 1/3 innings of work with 4 punch-outs, a couple walks. Fastball, mid-90s with the heater. Likes his slider a lot. Occasionally he'll flip in a curve as well, but a little bit deception with that herky-jerky delivery he possesses.
Leone has worked in this series too. Inning and a third in game 2. Gave up 1 hit, had a walk and a strikeout. 25-year-old right-hander works here with a runner on at first base. The Orioles 3 runs in the inning. Now have 8 hits in the ball game and lead 4-0. J.J. Hardy will face him. A double and a run scored, and J.J. has grounded out. Hardy's had just a couple of at-bats against Leone. 0 for 2. Jonathan Schoop the base hit on at first, and the pitch will be outside. Ferrer just could not get outs. 3 hits, a home run, a walk. Only pitched a third of an inning, and that was a line drive out by Castillo. Hit the second base. 1-1 delivery on the way, and Hardy fouls it back.
Good pass right there by J.J. Hardy. Nice to see the Orioles offense occasionally here at the beginning of this year. Some big breakout innings where they put up some nice crooked numbers. That's what this team is all about. That's why they're so dangerous throughout a 9-inning game. At any moment they can burst with a long ball, put a 5 spot up on you in a hurry.
A 1-ball 2-strike delivery here. Hardy's got one down the line. That's going to fall in. Good break from first base. Jonathan Schoop heading to third. Bobby Dickerson's going to wave him home. Relay throw will come to the plate, and not in time. And down to second base. Hardy gets a double. He's got back-to-back doubles and at-bats. He'll get an RBI as Jonathan Schoop scores all the way from first. 5-0 Orioles.
Yeah, another good swing by J.J. Hardy. Nice hustle by Jonathan Schoop at first base, so the secondary lead must have been good. Hardy whistling one down the line. Schoop off and running. Get the big man going. Bobby Dickerson sees there's an opportunity here, and Jonathan Schoop doesn't break stride. Take a look at the slide, back corner of the base, just getting in there. Another good tack-on run. 5-0. O's.
So the Orioles now 9 hits, and Hardy's got 2 of them, both doubles. Top of the order, here's Gentry with still just 1 away, and a pitch way outside gets away again, and the runner's going to move up. And the fans not happy. That's the 3rd time we've seen a runner move up on a ball that gets away.
Yeah, slider able to hold on to that one. Look at Jonathan Schoop's slide. Now the lane is open on that outside edge as Martin waits for the ball. Look at Jonathan Schoop, sees it open there, sliding away from the tag. Saw Hardy do it at the beginning of the game. Schoop doing it there for Hardy.
The infield's going to move in. Want to cut that run off, and that one gets boxed right at the plate. The one that moved the runner up was a wild pitch. Ferrer had one. Leone's got one. Fans are hollering at Russell Martin, though, not at the pitchers.
Well, I'd like to see a catcher get his body in front of these balls. Certainly don't like to see balls getting to the backstop.
Greg Gentry, a 2-0 count with 1 down. Ball in the air will get another run in. That'll go to center. Pilar back to haul it in. Tagging up third base Hardy. So the wild pitch mattered as the Orioles put another one up on the board. And an RBI for Gentry.
Nice job by Craig Gentry getting a pitch he can handle up in the zone. Plenty deep enough for the sac fly.
A big inning for the Orioles. They will send their 8th batter to the plate here in the inning. 5 runs have scored, doing it against the bullpen. Adam Jones has reached on an error twice, has picked up a single, caught in a rundown in the 5th inning. On that single, he would be tagged out, but J.J. Hardy, who was on third base, would score while that rundown was going on. pair charged with 4 runs on 3 hits in a third of an inning. 1 walk and no strikeouts. Adam after 1 down and away. Most runs the Orioles have been able to put up in an inning against Toronto. That one is hit hard and deep and heading foul.
And I see the Orioles offense breaking out. Of course, they know that the Blue Jays can do that as well. This game, when Happ left, everything changed. And I think it may have caught the bullpen off guard as well. You sit back there, they got their ace on the hill, won 20 games last year, nice and relaxed, watching a good pitcher's duel. Next thing you know, they're all in the game.
Got him on the pitch away for the strikeout, but the Orioles have the big inning led by Trey Mancini. A 3-run homer, his 3rd of the year. For the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, in the East, Tampa Bay Rays 4-2 lead over Boston. Pomeranz in that ball game, 4 runs, 3 hits through the first 4 innings. Cobb for the Rays, 2 runs, 7 hits in 3 and a third. Mookie Betts for Boston with the RBI double. Miller 2-run triple. Tonight, Cardinals and Yankees. Yankees have won 6 straight. Wainwright, Pineda will go. Yankees are a half game behind the Orioles in the East. Dylan Bundy's getting it done on the mound. Mancini lower left, and Hardy getting it done at the plate. Ball tagged to center field. Kevin Pillar, Adam Jones drifting back. He's got room 400 away.
Adam Jones, a lot of room out there for Adam. He was eyeballing it, thinking he might have to scale that wall for a second. And easily coming down with that first out.
Pillar 1 for 3 with a double now. That'll bring up Ezekiel Carrera, base hit, and he has grounded out. The Orioles taking advantage of a break when Jay Happ had to leave and getting to the Toronto bullpen. Pitch by Dylan Bundy down low. Bundy, a walk, 5 strikeouts, has given up no runs on 4 hits. The only runner in scoring position came in the first inning for the Jays. When they got the first 2 on, ended up with runners at first and third with only 1 away, and Bundy got Morales to hit into a double play to end the inning. 1-1 taken down low.
And Dylan still working hard here. No reason to stop. With your team up 6-0. Keep executing the pitches. Why change the game plan? Work to this point.
2-1 pitch is going to be up high. So a 3-ball 1-strike count. Bautista, the on-deck batter. Jays winning their first game at home yesterday, 1-4 here, 1-5 on the road. 3-ball, 2-strike count. It's been a long start. 3-2 pitch, and that one hit pretty well up the middle. Guerrero's on with a single.
How about we take a look at our Mile 1 upcoming schedule here. Remember, the Orioles have an off day tomorrow, starting Tuesday. 3-game set in Cincinnati. All-night game, 7 o'clock starts against the Reds. Mile 1 offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit in-store or online at mile1.com.
Jose Bautista. Bautista's drawn a walk and he is struck out. Just a 2 for 12 in this 4-game set. 1 down, runner off first base, and Bautista will take it for a strike. Up to 90 now on pitches thrown. Bundy is going to be over 100 pitches probably in most of the starts if he continues pitching the way he is right now, because he's controlling the ball game. He'll be up high with that one. 1 ball, 1 strike count. He's 24 years old. Bundy with a 2-0 mark against the Jays. We mentioned his ERA against Toronto is .77. Hard to believe, but he's probably lowered that today. And the pitch is in there for a strike. Again, that was up, but in the zone, and it's 1-2 on Bautista.
And Bundy's still spinning it in there. Trying to keep Bautista off balance.
Runner off first base, 1 out. And that's right there. Just froze him. 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's got these hitters guessing a little bit. The ability to mix up all 4 of his pitches is the reason why. You see it back there, working another gem. Lets that slider settle right in on the corner. Bautista not even attempting it. Take a look at the spin on this pitch. Wellington locking it in.
Bundy had 8 strikeouts against Toronto in that opener. He has 6 so far in this one. Here's Morales, runner at first base, but now there are 2 down. Kendrys Morales, 2 double plays, 1 on a ground ball, 1 on a liner. That's what happens when you have a walk-off game-winning home run the game before.
Right.
Baseball gods say,
Yeah.
And a strike on the outside corner.
It is a humbling game for sure.
There is the shift. And he stays over on that left side. Morales with a 1 ball 1 strike count. Outfield pretty much straight up. He'll go the other way foul.
Good fastball located well on the outside corner.
Got to say, if you're a hockey fan as I am, this is just the best time to be in Toronto or any Canadian city. I think I watched 5 games yesterday. Unbelievable. Every game, every second, everywhere on the air. It is just the best. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And that one a little bit outside on the changeup. So Stephon Crichton up in the bullpen as he's been up a couple of times. He's only here 1 day, off the roster yesterday, back on the roster today with Dylan Bundy going on the DL. He may get his chance in this one. 2-2 with 2 down. Britton on the DL, I'm sorry. Zack Britton on the DL today. 2-2 pitch on the way, and that's going to be fouled off as well.
Well, there were some questions about that workload Dylan Bundy put in his last start. 106 pitches, establishing a new career high. You can tell it didn't really affect him too much. Be consistent throughout this ball game. Not as sharp as his first start against the Jays. but working well through this game. He is a horse.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Carrera still over there at first base. And again, he was late on the changeup, so he didn't get much behind it. And Gentry will move over and put it away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. Orioles up in our Mazda do-ups. Machado, Trumbo, Davis.
Game of the 4-game set. Take a look at the team captain hustling down the line, put some pressure on the defense, safe in the first. Once again, Adam Jones a little sharp at third base, but flying down the line again, rushing the infielder for another error. Here Adam Jones going the other way with J.J. Hardy at second base. He knows there's going to be a play, so he keeps on hustling. He draws the throw, gets in a rundown. Who's on the back end? Hardy to score. And the Orioles a convincing lead. The team captain right there, not only does the hustle, always a big smile on his face. He and Kirby keeping it light. Remember, Geico 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
Leone remains on the mound for the Jays, and a foul ball by Manny. Machado, the only Oriole not to hit in that 6th inning. We go to the 7th. 6-9-0 for the Orioles, 0-5-2 for Toronto. Manny's taken a 0 for 3 and a 1 for 13 in this series. And a little chopper to short. Tulowitzki has to back up and bobbles it. It was hit too easy. It'll be an error on Tulowitzki.
I think so. And Tulo, multiple all-star at shortstop position. Instead of coming up and get that bigger hop, he plays it back and gets a little in between one that eats him up. Then take a look at Manny's swing. A little half-hearted, gets fooled on the slider. The big hop, Tulo should have stepped up and taken. Instead, he lets it bounce one more time. You never know what you're going to get. Get an extra hop.
3rd error committed by the Jays in the ball game. 1 on the glove, Tulowitzki, the other 2 throwing errors. Mark Trumbo. He already had a couple of hits, a double, a single. He has struck out. Mark has scored a run in the ball game. 1-0. Leone's pitch down and away to him. And a 1 ball, 1 strike count. 1 run charge to Happ, the starter, who left with the looked like a blister on the pitching hand. 4 runs charged to Tepera in a 1/3 of an inning. 1 charge to Leone so far. Stayed out there and kept it down. Good pitch. 1-2. There's Dermody, who was just added to the roster today in the change that they made with Aaron Sanchez going on the 10-day DL with a blister. One-two delivery. Mark will take that one down low. It's sort of been a lackluster day for the Blue Jays. after they got the 2-1 win against the Orioles with a walk-off home run, might have expected a little more of the energy here in this game.
Exactly. Yeah, they have been flat. I think the fact that Jay Happ left the game early kind of flattened about a little bit.
The fact Dylan Bundy's been pitching so well. Came back with a 94 on that one and gets the strikeout.
Now steady diet of breaking balls to Mark Trumbo. You see all the location, down and away, down and away. You ride a fastball up, looks good up by the eyes. A little extra life up there at 94. And Trumbo swinging right through.
First out of the 7th inning. Chris Davis, a walk, scored in the 6th, and is flied out to left field twice. Shift on, and he'll hit into it. Not very hard, though. Go to first. Record the out, throw to second, and getting back. Man, he took a pretty big turn there and slipped a little bit trying to get back to the bag.
Well, you know why he did? They had the big shift on. So Goins gets the routine ground ball, takes that out, but nobody is covering third base. So Manny's got to hustle back. But you know who did cover third base? The pitcher. Wisely slides over in that direction. That's why Manny's got to put the brakes on and try to throw behind him and get him.
No, he's back on the bag at second, and the Orioles will get a chance to add to it. Castillo 0 for 3 in the ball game. Wellington has flied out, lined out, and struck out. Gentry's got an RBI. Mancini a 3-run homer. Hardy has picked up an RBI double. Orioles scored a run and a rundown. 2 away, and the pitch high and away. 1-0 count. If the Orioles can come through with one of those big 2-out RBI base hits. High in the air to right. Ezekiel Carrera is out there, and he will put it away. 7th inning stretch time. The Orioles leave one on, but the Orioles a chance to take 3 out of 4, have a 6-0 lead.
Game, but another strong performance by the right-hander. Nasty slider there to get Batista. Another nasty slider as Martin goes down. He throws it hard, and the four-seamer to lock Pilar up. There's another good look at the breaking ball. If Martin Former O, Steve Pearce going down as well. Why not get Batista again? Buck Showalter over to congratulate. Another fine start by Bundy. How about Stephen Crichton, his major league debut? Look at the numbers this year in AAA. Good arm. Pressed Buck Showalter in spring.
So Crichton is now in the record books of Major League Baseball as the pitch to Tulowitzki is up high. The 25-year-old out of Katy, Texas. He led Bowie games pitched with 48 last year, including 4 starts. Minor league prior to this year, 11-16. Had not moved above AA ball until this season. Acquired by the Orioles. 23rd round in 2013 draft.
All right. So gets his opportunity just to come over in spring training. A fill-in guy. Next thing you know, gets another call and another and another.
And a base hit. Tulowitzki pounding one into the carpet here. Leadoff single in the 7th inning. Dylan Bundy, first time he's had 3 consecutive starts in which he has gone 6 or more innings.
Yeah, so 3 quality starts for Dylan Bundy to start this season. Spraying the 5 hits around the field, no earned runs, just the 1 walk, 6 punch outs. Wasn't as sharp as his first start, but certainly sharp enough. Spinning it like no other. Nasty changeup again and working that fastball to the top of the zone. Bundy looking good.
Dylan after win number 2. Crichton looking for a ground ball again, this time for a double play. Russell Martin has struck out twice. Look at that average. Ouch. 6-0 lead. 6 hits now for Toronto. Crichton's delivery to him, and that'll be fouled away.
What Buck Showalter loved about Crichton was his attack mode. He was aggressive in spring training, didn't allow an earned run. Saw that good velocity on the fastball, 2-seamer at 95 miles an hour, and he'll attack hitters with that pitch.
Just 2 hits and 30 at bats for Russell Martin, and 13 strikeouts in 30 at bats.
Yeah, just trying to do a little bit too much. A lot of times hitters, the desire, the want to get off to a good start is there, but to be relaxed and get it done is the hardest thing to do to open up a season. You start putting some offers on the board, you start pulling off, trying to hit that 3-run home run with nobody on. Oh, it's frustrating.
Takes that one away. 2 ball, 1 strike count. So Stephon Crichton getting the opportunity here. Played college ball at Texas Christian University. 2-1. Broken bat, fly ball, right field. Going back near the warning track and off the very top of the wall. Tulowitzki goes to third. It's going to be a single. Throw to first. Ball gets dropped. Runner stays at third. That's one of the longest singles you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Just missed going into the bullpen.
I think he thought he got that one. Bouncing back to Trumbo. We'll take a look right here. Crichton fastball gets hit pretty hard. Heads up over the head of Trumbo, top of the wall. He gets it back in a hurry. You see Martin taking the big turn. Hardy reading that, fires one over. Unfortunately, Tulowitzki staying at third base. Nice play by Trumbo, getting it back in.
So first and third. Pierce a base hit and he is struck out. And he'll foul it off. Well, we told you Dylan Bundy came in with an ERA of .77 lifetime against Toronto. His ERA against Toronto now .51.
Nice. Nice to see the young arms stepping up for the O's start this season. Ian Gosman pitched very well.
0-1 delivery on the way. Bundy's given up only 1 earned run in 17 2/3 innings against the Blue Jays.
Wow. Impressive.
Steve Pearce trying to get him on the board. Donnie Hart in the bullpen. Infield will play for 2 here with the Orioles leading at 6-0. Tulowitzki at third base, Martin at first. 1-1 delivery. Jammed him on a pitch inside that he just nicks foul. 1-2.
94 taken off hot right in on the hands of Steve Pearce there. Real good movement from Crichton.
Crichton last year in the 72 innings pitched struck out 61. Workhorse with Bowie. 4 starts, rest onto the pen. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that one down and away, foul tipped and held on to.
Steve got the dauber down, doesn't he? Head down here. As he's swinging, you almost tell how down he is. Not very confident, but that is a nasty slider. Good finish from Crichton after riding 94 in on the hands. Front hip leaves from Pearce. That slider exposes him.
That is one of the all-time great reactions, telling you how things are not going well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Steve
Yeah,
just...
it is. Yeah. Oh, still
Wow.
shaking his head.
Crichton gets a K. And here's Coghlan. He has grounded out, singled. First and third still, 1 away now. Orioles looking for their 3rd double play of the game. And it'll be foul back. Jays have lost 6 of 7, getting out of the losing streak yesterday. The Orioles trying to get them started on another one here today. Orioles after their 8th win of the season. Only 3 losses, not done yet. Pretty good lead, up a half a game on the Yankees, and Boston a game and a half. Tampa 2. Foul back again. 0-2 count.
There you go. And more aggressive over the plate.
John Gibbons just wondering, what have I got to do here? My guys aren't hitting, and now I've lost 2 starting pitchers in 2 days to blisters.
Oh my. Yeah, it's a tough situation right now. John Gibbons and the Blue Jays.
They'll have to look to their system to provide something.
We talk about this every year, spring training. You see all these kids coming through, up and playing in ball games. Ooh, good pitch right there from Crichton. But every year, the depth of an organization gets tested. Guys are going to get hurt at the major league level. Got to reach down in the minor leagues. Are the guys that you call up going to be prepared? Are they going to be disruptive? Or are they going to settle in nicely and fill in until your number 1 guys get back?
That Toronto's going to find out.
Yeah.
1-2 delivery on the way. That's foul back. They really don't know how long Donaldson is going to be out with that calf problem. I mean, he only came back for 2 games. Calf problem kicked up again. They're going to have to rest at a substantial time, one would think, before they bring him back. John does not want to rush him. The organization doesn't want to rush him back.
Yeah, they don't need that nagging him all season long. And those blisters, the humidity that he had. Say that again. The humidity hasn't even started to pick up yet, and guys are getting blisters.
Got to have that vinegar bin in there somewhere. Guys used to stick their hands in that vat of vinegar in order to get those blisters healed.
Yeah, for sure.
2 ball, 2 strike count. And if that didn't work, you could eat your finger as a pickle. Here's the 2-2 delivery, ball hit hard. Adam Jones. He's got it. Run will score. Sack fly. Tulowitzki. And the first run on the board makes it a 6-1 game. On Saturday, April 22, the Birds take on the Red Sox, 7:05 at Camden Yards. First 20,000 fans, 15 and over, get the Orioles welcome mat. You can lock in your Birdland summer for family and friends. Great seats remain. Won't last for that series, though. Go to Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Coghlan, the sacrifice fly. Martin remains at first base. 6-1 game. And the pitch down low for a ball. Goins has lined out, flied out. That's how effective Dylan Bundy was. We're in the 7th inning and just finishing the 3rd at bat for these Toronto hitters. Goings 1-0. That's going to be in there for a strike at 83.
Well, Crichton's got the slider fastball mix. Got the good movement on all the pitches there. A nice slider. Locking up Goins. Get back into the count there. Good experience for Stephen Crichton.
1 ball, 1 strike. That slash down the line. That's going to be a fair ball. Making the turn, Martin will be held. Martin goes to third, and a double for Goins. Three hits off Crichton here in the 7th inning.
A pretty good piece of hitting there from Ryan Goins. A little slider that he stays on. How about that look? Slapping it the other way. So Martin hustling, thinking about scoring. Gets held up there at third base. Goins picking up his first double of the year. And Roger McDowell out to settle Crichton down a little bit.
We're talking about how he attacks the strike zone. Crichton in 2015 with Delmarva, Frederick, he had the best ratio of walks per 9 innings that year in the Orioles minor league system. So he puts pitches over the plate. You got to be ready to swing. And the Jays are doing that here in the 7th inning. Third and second. 2 down. Kevin Pillar. That's a dangerous at bat right here, even in a 6-1 ball game. Pillar's got power. He's got 2 on. He has doubled 1 for 3. He will take the pitch for a strike. Pillar with the 5 hits in 14 at bats in the series. He's had a hit in the last 5. Not much of getting people home.
And not many Blue Jays doing well in that regard.
Pillar will take the pitch down. Pillar after his first home run of the year. Jays just have not found the long ball. They have hit only 6. They've given up 15. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Pillar down the line the other way. Foul ball.
Fortunately for the Orioles, that one pushing just foul. Couple solid approaches from the Jays hitters, though. They let the ball travel a little bit. They go the other way. I think they're starting to recognize a lot of the shoulders and hips kind of pulling off the baseball to begin this season and force that front side closed.
Pillar hitting .333 against the Orioles this year. 1-2 count on him. And did he go? He did. The home plate umpire makes the call. He's pointing down to first, but there's not going to be any need to. Brian Knight brings him up on this check swing. 7 straight years. Come see why. LexusofTowson.com.
Turning around, it's a pair of 95-mile-an-hour fastball. A couple Orioles on the bags as well. This one got out in a hurry. Put 107.5 miles an hour off the bat. The launch angle 27 degrees. The average launch angle 28, so he's right on. But the bat speed to get to that fastball, so impressive by Mancini. Wouldn't you know it? Here he comes.
And to the bullpen again as the Jays continue to bring him in. Just called up today.
Yeah, Matt Dermody, AAA. He was up a few times last season. You see the numbers here this season in AAA, the 5.79. Big kid, big lefty, big fastball.
Dermody's delivery, and Trey Mancini will take it inside. 2 hits today for Mancini, a single along with that home run, 2 for 3. He's got a 4-game hit streak. He's had 3 hits in 5 at bats here in this 4-game set, and that's going to be there for a strike. Dermody made his debut last September, early September. Appeared in 5 games, 4 runs, 6 hits, only worked 3 innings. Then the AAA Bisons to start this season. Relief pitcher, primarily in the minor leagues, and getting a look-see here. And with the pitchers going down, they get more than a look-see.
Oh yeah, we'll see a few more pitchers coming up from AAA.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles with a 6-9-0. Toronto 1-8 and 3 errors. Toronto's left 6 on base in this ball game. Orioles got started in the middle, the 5th and 6th innings, when they scored all 6 of their runs. Three-2 pitch in the air to center field. Hit it pretty good. Going back. Warning track wall. And goodbye home run. Oh, mercy. Wow. Trey Mancini writing another score as he drills one to the deepest part of the ballpark. And the Orioles have a 7-1 lead, 4 home runs on the year, and 4 RBIs in this game.
My goodness. What a swing from Mancini. He's locked in. Great discipline for his own strike zone. Picking up his 2nd home run today. Now this is the 2nd time in this short 2017 season he's had multiple home run games. Did it up in Boston, Fenway Park, to start this road trip off.
And the Orioles extend their lead to 7-1. That one hit hard towards center. Pilar coming, diving, can't get it. Does get backed up, so it'll be a single for Jonathan Schoop as Carrera got over to back him up.
Oh, Mancini kind of stands in there like he's waiting for a bus. He picks the front foot up, puts it down, and then explosion. Limited head movement, lightning fast bat. Knows where the bat head is. Every time he hits a ball, seems like it's squared up, and it goes a long way.
Wow. The Orioles 11 hits in the ball game, and Mancini loath to show any emotion because he's so under control. He's an emotional kid, but he can't help himself over there right now.
Right.
Talking to Caleb Joseph.
I love it.
Jonathan Schoop, a 2-hit ball game. He's 2 for 4. And here's J.J. Hardy, and Hardy will pop that one up first base side. There is room. Morales comes over to get it.
On the bottom of this Orioles lineup, coming through big again, huh?
Yep.
5 runs scored, a couple doubles, a couple home runs hit.
Yep, the bottom 3 in this lineup. Mancini 3 for 4, 4 RBIs, 2 home runs. Schoop is 2 for 4, a run scored. J.J. Hardy is 2 for 4, 2 runs scored and an RBI.
Some production there.
Gentry got a hold of that one to left field, way up in the air. Pierce going back looking, and goodbye home run off the facade of the second deck. Craig Gentry, 2 RBIs on that one, and the Orioles have a 9-1 lead.
Man, everybody hits him in this lineup. It's contagious. Gentry's not supposed to hit home runs. He's supposed to steal the bases. First home run of the year for Gentry. There's been 10 different Orioles this season that hit long balls. My goodness.
Well, our Maryland lottery contestant, Deshaun Hadley from Baltimore, late in the ball game, $500 every home run. There have been 3 of them. So the Orioles blasting away here from the 5th inning on. 9 runs on 12 hits. Dermody's delivery is taken down low.
We'll take a look at the Gentry swing here. Fastball up and in, and he pulls the hands in tight. Wow. Look at the elevation. That ball is crushed by Gentry. Nice swing. That'll get him going.
And the pitch is taken away. Well, the Orioles lead it 9-1, and for the first time in the games between these two teams, it is neither a 1 nor a 2-run ball game. Pitch is taken, and that one is going to be up. Craig Gentry, last season playing mostly minor league ball, only had 34 at bats and did not have a home run. And that pitch is going to be down low, and you got to believe Dermody's a little shaky on throwing a strike after the 2 home runs in the inning.
Boy, I'll say. Yeah, those aren't even the frontline guys. You know, you hear about Jones, Davis, Trumbo, Machado. So, you know, Mancini and Gentry are bridging you. You get a little concerned.
So Pete Walker out, the pitching coach. The only left-hander in the bullpen, Aaron Lupup. Now see what he can do. Follow Orioles baseball live with the MLB.com and BAT mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season long. Game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, and more. Download it. MLB.com at BAT, your #1 app for live baseball. Manny Machado. Manny has reached on an error, 0 for 4. 1 hit in 14 at-bats for Manny. Get the Orioles on the verge of taking 3 out of 4. Down the line, he may add to it. That's curving near that fair pole. And goodbye, home run! Another one! 328 down the line. That had just enough. It hit the top of the wall. It bounced off that fair screen. Manny's got a 2 RBI homer, and it is 11-1.
Well, there you go. Manny Machado just talked about his struggles. He was pulling off the baseball a little bit as Gibbons calling to the bullpen again. And he stayed on that one.
So a big 8th inning.
Take a look at Manny's swing here. Fastball in the outer third, and he goes down. Drops the head right to it, lets it travel. This is a missile.
Tough outing. And the Orioles up. Bullpen again.
All right, O's
by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick, and the Orioles blasting away a 3-homer 8th inning.
Manny Machado, that was impressive. You see Aaron Loop now into the ball game and find a way to slow this Orioles offense down. He comes from the side, cross-body delivery, very tough on the lefties and righties both.
So Loop against Trumbo. Trumbo's had a 2 for 4. Double, single, and he has struck out twice. 0-1 count, 1 down. Checking on Craig Gentry. His last major league home run prior to the one he hit in this inning was 2013. He did it with Texas August 21 against Houston. Been a while. Ground ball. Tulowitzki's got it. And the Bronx cheer goes up in Toronto.
Well, Gentry had to battle some tough injuries, had some concussions going on, and had a hard time getting back to the big leagues. Buck Showalter took a shot on him in spring training and liked what he saw. Not only is he a very athletic player with good speed coming off the bench, a friend of Chris Davis's that's helped as he starts the season so well.
And a ball taken the other way for a base hit by Chris Davis. So Chris with his first hit of the day had drawn a walk earlier and scored. The Orioles have now batted around. 11-1 lead, and the only Oriole not to have reached base in the ball game is coming to the plate. Castillo's had an 0 for 4. Wellington Castillo with 2 down. And a runner on at first base. And the Jays are saying that Jay Happ, the starter, left the game with elbow soreness.
Oh, that's worse than
we
a
thought
blister.
It was a blister, but they're saying it was elbow soreness.
Oh, that's not good.
Yikes. The 0-1 delivery to Castillo, and that's taken down low. Happ worked only a 4 1/3, an inning, 1 run on 4 hits and 3 strikeouts. And the bullpen has given up all these runs since. 1-1 delivery on the way inside.
Take a look at the current hitting streaks, longest in the American League, and there's Wellington Castillo at 5 games. It's hanging right here on the edge, possibly the last at bat for Castillo to keep that streak going.
High in the air, center field. Pilar going back, and this one's in the ballpark. So the Orioles bat around, and what an inning. 3 homers. Trey Mancini has got 2 home runs in this ballgame, 4 on the year. Gentry got one. That's good for 2 RBIs as the Orioles blast away in this one, with Manny getting the 3rd of the inning. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, there's a jam to start this ball game. Pilar and Carrera lead off the game with base hits. The hero from last night steps up. Morales, 4-6-3 double play. Are you kidding me? How do they turn this? Well, Jonathan Scope cuts the distance down, and how about that lightning quick release by J.J. Hardy? Dylan Bundy inducing the double play shuts this Jays offense down, and the Orioles go on to this 11-1 lead here entering the bottom of the 8th inning.
Orioles bats just started jumping in that 6th inning. 5 runs, 4 hits in the 6th, 5 runs, 5 hits in the 8th, and the first run came in the 5th. Britton will remain on the mound for the Orioles. A bit of an irony in this is that if this ball game stays this way, Jay Happ's going to be the loser. He gave up 1 run, 4 hits, and had to come up with a sore elbow. But it was the first run, and the Orioles have not trailed in the ball game. The only run Toronto's picked up, Tulowitzki, a leadoff single in the 7th, and later in the inning, Chris Coghlan sac fly brought him home. That has been it. 2-0 delivery. That will be in there for a strike. Ezequiel Carrera, a base hit last time up. He's 2 for 3 in the ball game. 11 runs on 14 hits for the Orioles. 1 on 8 for Toronto. And the pitch away. A 3-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, what's impressive to me about this Orioles team, obviously the home runs, but the ability to just explode any given inning. They had the big 5-run inning in the 6th. There's 4 runs there in the 8th inning. Or, 5, excuse me. Pretty impressive stuff by this offense.
That's the way they probably will be all year. There's no reason to think otherwise.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
That's their formula.
It's not small ball. 3-ball, 2-strike delivery. That laced to left, but right at him. Didn't even have to move on that one. Gentry puts it away. Let's take a look at our Major League Notebook on this date in baseball history. The one and only Owasso High School senior Dylan Bundy, who started today's game in 2011, finished with 11-0, .20 ERA, 158 strikeouts in 71 innings, and he had a pitch clocked at 100 miles an hour in high school. And in 1948, the future superstation WGN televised its first baseball game. Would go on to set a pattern, which is kind of dissipating now, but the superstations were like the Cubs and Atlanta, gave those teams a lot of national publicity. Here is Jose Bautista. 1-0 delivery will be taken outside.
Well, Dylan Bundy, this date back in 2011, of course, that was the year that the Orioles drafted Dylan Bundy, number 1, 4th overall pick. And he also got named the Gatorade State Player of the Year in 2011. But did you know?
No.
He was the Gatorade State Player of the Year in 2010 and 2009, the only player to win it 3 times.
How about that?
How about that, Dylan Bundy?
And some pretty good baseball players.
Yes, sir.
High school baseball players.
Got that right.
Wow. Might say he had a lot of publicity. How many scouts watched him pitch?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. High school kid hitting 100 miles an hour. Are you kidding me? Wow.
3-ball, 1-strike count. Bautista struck out twice, drawn a walk. 3-1 delivery on the way, and a towering fly ball to left field, hit pretty good, going back at the wall, maybe room. There is. Gentry's got it. 2 down.
Yeah, don't get him going. Once he starts hitting them, he's not going to stop.
Well, Toronto came out of the ball game last night with their heads up a little bit on the walk-off. Today their heads are right back down,
yeah,
as they've been walloped here in this one. Justin Smoke is going to come to the plate here. He'll hit for Morales, who is 0 for 3. 2 down, nobody on. Bottom half of the 8th inning. And goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Orioles victory here, and they'll continue to run those numbers up against the East. Early on, This would be an 8-3 mark if they hang on to the lead. 0-1 pitch, foul back again. Interleague play coming up. Day off tomorrow, and then Cincinnati for a 3-game set. With Kevin Gausman, Bronson Arroyo going in game number 1. 6:30 for O's Extra on Masson. 7 o'clock for the ball game. 1-2. Orioles will have a chance to rest it up, take a look at that roster and what they want to do with it pitching wise, see where some of their pitchers are inside health wise. They will not have to use Michael Givens again today, it looks like.
Yeah, I think Buck would like Stephen Crichton to finish this one up, and what an opportunity for Crichton here. And for Buck Showalter, I mean, you get an opportunity with a big lead. This does not happen too often. Get a young pitcher. This is how he's going to learn at the major league level. A couple innings, a few more batters here. Let Crichton settle in a little bit.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Smoke. Two delivery on the way, and that's outside. So Crichton takes it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tulowitzki's the on-deck batter if Smoke can keep the inning going. Full count pitch on the way. Hit that one hard. Big part of the ballpark, though. Adam Jones going over, reaching, can't get it. He goes into the wall, onto second base. Double. Ball just picked up. He's going to head the third. Relayed by Scope. Not in time. And now the question is Adam Jones.
Adam having a hard time getting his wind right now. He lost his footing as he approached the wall, tripped and smoked himself in the wall there. It's Adam fearless out there. The center field wall approaches. I think he got his feet caught up in the turf. Fell awkwardly into the wall.
Chibanzel's the trainer, but Showalter's right behind him.
Take a look here and listen. You see that foot, the right foot can't plant. Kind of gets stuck there, and that's what caused him to lose his balance. Go full force in the right hip into the wall.
Looks like he got the wind knocked out of him pretty good too.
Yeah. Good to see him up. Boy, he had to go a long way for that ball. Almost came down with it. Hit the glove. I think when he was going to put the brakes on to try to go back and get the ball, that's when he lost his footing. Went hard into the right center wall.
So Adams stretching it out a little bit while he walks back. Says he is all right.
Yeah, they put a plexiglass actually over. There you go. Good look right there. Over that scoreboard that's out in the outfield walls. And it's got a little bit of give to it, but when you're off balance and you go full speed, that thing, it's got to shake you up. Adam lucky to be still in this game.
So Adam will stay out there in center field, at least for the moment. Smoke gets a triple out of it, and Tulowitzki up now with 2 down. And the pitch inside by Crichton. Shift on against him. There is Justin Smoke. And he realized Jones was down and the ball hadn't been handled. He took off for third. Tulowitzki, a base hit, a run scored. Crichton's pitch up and in, foul back.
Take a look at Adam, just missing the ball. He sees the ball bounce, tries to put the brakes on, gets the feet caught up, and boom. Man.
Wow.
It's Adam Jones, though, right? I mean,
yeah, that's right.
That's how he plays.
1 ball, 1 strike count. And that's going to be inside. I think that's one of those hits where your whole body kind of aches and will.
Yeah, he's thankful there's an off day tomorrow for sure. He's upset he didn't catch the ball.
That's what he's thinking about right now. Exactly. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Tulowitzki. 2 down. And the inside corner for a strike. Tulowitzki didn't think so. And the count goes to 2-2. Two pitch on the way to him. He'll keep it alive.
Creighton already up to 47 pitches.
Adams still walking it off out there. Stefan Creighton trying to get it over. And the pitch is going to be outside. Three, two down. Smoke off third base. That's going to be a base hit and an RBI. Tulowitzki delivers the single. Second run on the board for the Jays, 11-2. But Showalter on his way out. Creighton will be coming out. Tyler Wilson warming up in the bullpen will be coming in.
Last night, but the beauty of this game, another day, they play again the next day. Tyler Wilson right in there. Get some outs on the board. See the averages a little bit ballooned right now. And that home run, that walk-off piece last night from Morales. Zack Britton put on the DL. A little forearm tightness.
Adams still out there and smiling now. That's a good sign.
Yes, it is.
Here is Russell Martin, runner on at first base, a run in on a couple of hits here in the 8th inning. Martin has picked up a base hit and he has struck out twice. Tyler Wilson after the third out of the inning. Tyler has pitched this season against the Jays, now in his third game, giving up a run on 2 hits in an inning and a third. Crichton worked the inning and 2/3, 5 hits, and so far he's given up a couple of runs, responsible for the base runner Tulowitzki at first.
Blue Jays starting to pick it up a little with the bat, though. 10 hits in this ball game. I feel a little better about that.
Two-0 delivery by Tyler, and he will miss up high. Starts out with a 3-0 count, and you get the betwixt look from the manager.
Yeah.
Got an 11-2 lead, and the first 3 pitches are out of the strike zone. Aims that one and gets it in. 3-ball, 1-strike count. Martin, Pierce waiting if the inning continues. Toronto not scoring until the 7th. Shut down by Dylan Bundy. No runs, 5 hits over 6. 3-1 pitch on the way, and that will be fouled off.
There you go. Work yourself right back into the count. Might as well finish it off right here.
Steve Pierce. 3-2 delivery and foul ball. Tulowitzki back at first base. Orioles with this big lead, not holding here. 3-2, 2 down. He's running. Delivery to Russell Martin, and walked it.
Buck not happy about that for sure. Big lead. Get in attack mode.
Runners on at first and second base, 2 away. First 2 batters were retired in this inning. Bring up Steve Pierce. He has singled, struck out twice. In the air, left field. Got good wood on it. Warning track, and will be hauled in. Gentry out there to get it. So a run scores on a couple of hits. 2 are left on base. We go to the 9th, 11-2 O's. cares? Nothing to hide. That's transparency. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick here between innings. Keeping an eye on Adam Jones as he came in, smiling. A couple of wisecracks there with Richie Manziel's the trainer.
Yeah. I think Wayne's, made sure he was okay, and then gave him a hard time about not catching the baseball.
Exactly. See what time it is? Let's go. Well, Trey Mancini, has he got another? What an afternoon for him. Mancini, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 3 hits, 3 for 4, a single. Smoke has come on to play at first base after pinch hitting. Barney's at second base. Goins is going to play at short, and Saltalamacchia doing the catching. A lot of changes here in the 9th inning. That'll go to short. Owens up. 1 down, top of the 9th. Trey Mancini, multiple homer day and a 4 RBI performance. First start at first base along with that.
Yeah,
what a day for him.
Dangerous hitter, man.
Jonathan Scope has continued his output against Toronto. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, 2 for 4. He now has a 5-game hit streak. And in the series, he's picked up 7 hits and 14 at bats with a home run and 3 RBIs.
Yeah, doing some damage. Trying to get that bat path right, the timing.
He will raise his .303 lifetime batting average in this ballpark with the numbers today. In the air to right, Ezequiel Carrera. Two down, bases are empty. That'll bring JJ up. Hardy, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, RBI, 2 for 4. And the pitch will be taken inside. This has been one of the best series ever for the Orioles' bottom 4, and particularly the bottom 3 in the lineup in each of these 4 games. They have been extremely productive. And it's primarily Scope and Hardy leading them. Mancini has been in that role a couple of times in the 2 games he's been in. And Hardy continues it. A 3 for 5 ball game as he gets a 2-out single here in the 9th inning.
Well, there you go. Sometimes tough to not give at bats away with a big lead like this. 9th inning, JJ picking up his 3rd knock of the day as Ryan Flaherty will come in and pinch run for him.
So Hardy a break, and with a day off tomorrow as well. So Gentry, leadoff batter. RBI sac fly, the base hit. The home run he picked up in the 8th inning with a runner on. Orioles 3 home runs in the inning, 4 in the ball game. They batted around in the 8th, 5 runs, 5 hits. 0-1 pitch. The Loop trying to finish it off, the left-hander. 5th pitcher out of the bullpen for Toronto.
Blue Jays pretty happy. They're going to get an off day tomorrow as well. Gonna lick their wounds a little bit. A couple big injuries.
Nunez ready in the bullpen for the Orioles. 0-2 delivery. Slides that inside. Flaherty gets his lead at first. 1-2 the count. Jammed on it. Loop has also had work in this series. They've had to go deep into the bullpen. They will need the rest, if only for their pen, but also got to regroup the offensive players.
Yeah.
Flaherty off first.
Definitely a grind. Mentally, you get worn down. Press so hard early.
Swing and a miss on a pitch away. The Gentry out of there. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the ninth. It's 3 outs away from their 8th win of the year, and we go to the bottom of the ninth.
Del Nuno now into the ballgame. This will be his 3rd appearance. Nothing on the board for earned run average yet. He used sparingly here in the early going. Speed went a little bit here.
Nuno will be facing the bottom 2 to start here. Orioles make some moves defensively in the ballgame. Flaherty's going to stay in at short. Rick Gentry's moved to center field. Adam Jones is out, and Kim has come on to play in left field. There's Adam Jones getting a break here at the end of the ballgame. Enough to go back to the trainer's room. That's a good sign.
All right.
Chris Coghlan will lead it off in the bottom of the ninth, and a strike in the outside corner. Coghlan getting the start at 3rd. Base hit, sac fly, RBI. The other RBI, the Tulowitzki single. That has been it. 10 hits in the ball game for Toronto, but only the 2 runs. 8 have been left on base. Orioles have turned a couple of big double plays in the game, which helped earlier to end innings. Now Nuno trying to finish it off. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and Coghlan off the fists and back.
Yeah, Orioles kind of showing what they're all about with the good pitching, great defense, and of course the power. Trey Mancini, a little exhibition today with a couple long balls.
Go point out there, Rocky.
The 1 ball, 2 strike delivery to 3rd. Machado the throw. And 1 away. So the Orioles are going to go 5-1 against Toronto to start the season. Great number. Continue to win series against Toronto that started last year. And Orioles continue a real good run against the division opponents.
Yeah, such an important month, right? This month of April. The only time they don't play within the division is coming up this week against Cincinnati Reds. So they'll play some of their better baseball.
1-0 count. Ryan Goins, a double in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. Goins will take that one for a strike. Dylan Bundy will get the win. He's going to be 2-1. No runs, 5 hits over 6. And Jay Happ will take the loss. He will be 0-3. 20-game winner last year. Ow, ow. Oh my gosh. Pilar, the on deck circle.
You got the umpire too.
Yeah.
Take a look. Ball back, getting the umpire in the mask, and then
almost
ricochets and Pilar almost
down.
gets it. Man,
It's been a tough series.
he's been laying on this turf quite a bit.
Dale Scott, of course, home plate umpire, hit on the mask, concussion. Could only work a portion of that game, has been out. 1-2 pitch on the way, and that will be fouled away. Used to be that on deck circle was pretty safe, and you never got on the circle anyway. You moved in closer, behind plate.
Sure.
Not anymore. We see foul balls hit.
I know. Yeah.
It's almost impossible to do.
Scary.
Goins waiting on it. That's going to be a base hit. Just got it off the end of the bat. Played in by Kim. So Goins gets his second hit, 2 for 4. And with one away here in the ninth, the runner on at first base. So Kevin Pilar, ducking danger, survives to hit. Pilar double his first time up, since though 2 strikeouts and a fly ball out, and he will take the pitch for a ball. 1-0, 1 away.
And Pilar and Adam Jones roaming center field out here, and both play like football players. Sacrifice their bodies for the team. And down with big outs. All about the highlight plays. Pilar face planted out there in center field earlier in the game, trying to take a double away. Beautiful effort. My gosh. Gonna hurt tomorrow.
He slid along the artificial surface for a long way. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Wilson worked a third of an inning, 1 walk, got the out to end it. Crichton worked an inning at 2/3, 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 strikeouts. 2-2. Two delivery on the way, and a foul ball to keep it alive. There is Zack Britton, the Oriole closer on the DL. Crichton with him.
Giving him some words of knowledge. Zack Britton's been through quite a bit in his young career at the major league level. Of course, started off as a starter in the bullpen, now one of the best closers in the game. So good words of wisdom to Crichton.
Down to third and foul, just outside the line. So Pilar continues with a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Delivery again to him, and again fights it off, foul.
We were talking about that yesterday. You know, you keep putting that ball in that spot, and he's going to keep pulling it foul. And Nuno just trying to get a little bit more depth on that slider. Pilar swing over the top.
Nuno again, the 2-2 delivery, hit in the air to center. Drove it. Warning track, wall, and goodbye, home run. Kevin Pilar, 2 RBI homer. Goins will come in ahead of him. His first home run and first RBIs of the year.
A combination of some speed and power from Pilar. And John Gibbons has a couple pieces that he can work at the top of the lineup or even the bottom. Hitter like Pilar. Start showing that power, he might be dropping down in the middle of the order.
That'll clear the base paths and will make it an 11-4 game. That's 12 hits put up by Toronto. And Pilar gives way to Ezequiel Carrera, who has picked up a couple of hits, 2 singles, 2 for 4. Pilar gets his 5th career home run against the Orioles. He is hitting the ball hard. Right now, their hottest hitter in the lineup. 1-2 delivery, foul back. 1-2.
And Carrera, one of those versatile pieces as well with the good speed. They hitting second base or hitting in second spot. The reason you get the lefty there, Pilar gets on first base. Opportunity to shoot the hole, can handle the bat. We've seen him bunt a couple times in this series. So there is versatility in Gibbons' offensive lineup. But till today, very slow, sluggish offense. Starting to pick it up a little bit now. Just in time for the Orioles to leave town.
Yeah, exactly. And with 11 runs on the board for the O's.
Yeah.
Carrera works the count full, 3-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way to him, and a cut and a miss. 2 down here in the ninth.
Nice fastball right there from Nuno. Steady diet of breaking balls to the lefty, and then makes a dart in there. See it setting up, down and away, and boom, 90. Bio, some pretty good movement.
2 away, nobody on in Bautista. First ball hitting shallow left center, and it'll be run down. Gentry coming on to put it away, and that will do it. Couple of runs in, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. The Orioles come away with an 11-4 win. A lot of hits in this ball game, 15-12 in favor of the Orioles. Game 3 hours and 30 minutes, and for the O's, a very successful trip north of the border as they come away with 3 out of 4. Dylan Bundy, the winners, solid 6 innings. Happ leaving the game, the elbow problem. He will take the loss, even though it was the bullpen that gave up most of the runs, all but one of them. Gentry, Machado, and Mancini, 2 home runs.
Yeah, nice to see the Orioles hitting the bombs, but more